Full live commentary, Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland, with Richard Forster, Kenny Miller and Liam McLeod.
Rangers looking to make some history. They've never come from 2 goals behind after a first leg of a European knockout tie. They have to if they want to prolong their Champions League ambitions beyond the 3rd qualifying stage. PSV Eindhoven or Monaco await. They are about almost 15 minutes old, that game in the second leg. 1-1 after the first. No goals thus far, and we'll keep you up to date with that one. The Rangers line-up tonight, 3 changes from the first leg. Lawrence, Arfield and Kent, who is fit, come in for Kamara, Jack and Matondo. Morelos remains on the bench, McLaughlin in goal, Tavernier, Goldson, Sands and Barisic, Arfield and Lundstrom in the middle, Tillman and Kent wide, Lawrence off Čolak. It's the same Union Saint-Gilloise team that started last week, including the goal scorers, the captain Tuma and the penalty converter Vanzier. The Rangers fans were booing the Union players. They were in a huddle off to the left. It will be Rangers who'll kick off, wearing the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops, going right to left as we watch from the main stand, shooting towards the Broomloan Road end, with Saint-Gilloise shooting towards the Copeland Road end, which the top half of at least, maybe just the top of the bottom tier, bathed in sunshine. It's about 20-21 degrees Celsius on kick-off time. The big clock not quite at 7:45 yet. UEFA like to be bang on time, and the Greek referee, who is Anastasios Sidropoulos, gets the game underway bang on time, and it's played back to James Sands, who lifts it long with the right foot up onto the chest of Tillman, who can only chest it down. And one of the Union players gets it away, but Lundstrom picks up in the midfield and knocks it to Barisic. Rangers would love an early goal here as they look to come from 2 back in the tie. You wouldn't put it past them inside this place when you think what they did to Braga and Leipzig on those ultra dramatic nights on their way to the Europa League final last season, as Sands picks up right of the centre circle and rolls it to Connor Goldson, who goes long looking for Arfield, headed away there by the Englishman. Christian Burgess at the centre point of that defensive triumvirate at the back for the Belgian runners-up, as Tavernier wins it back on the far side, rolls it towards Arfield, but it's picked up there by Lazar. He was so impressive, particularly in that first half last week. He's been robbed well though. It's Čolak, I think, got the touch. He eventually comes to Barisic midway inside the Union half, and out wide left for Ryan Kent, who's level with the edge of the D of the Union penalty area. Kent shuffles, gets his right foot cross in, away by Burgess, picked up by Lazar. Crunching in Lawrence to win it back, but the referee didn't like that challenge, and that's going to be a free kick to the visitors. But you can see already Kenny Miller, Richard Foster, who both played in these big European nights for Rangers. You can see they're on the front foot immediately and get in and about the Union players.
Yeah, you can sense it. They've went for it early. There's already an early ball forward for a forward run. There was another opportunity for Barisic maybe to feed Lawrence, who was looking to get beyond the back line as well. And when they lost it, there's a real intensity and hunger to go and win it back. So it's been a good positive start for Rangers.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and you hear the reaction of the crowd, they love it. You know, we just watched the goalkeeper there kick it all the way right through to McLaughlin, and they started slowly last week. They looked a bit nervous, and if you're going to be a bit nervous at the start of the game, this is not a place you want to come and play, because it's absolutely bouncing here. And that goes down to the way Rangers have started the match, Liam, as you said, on the front foot, get the ball forward, put them under pressure early.
Shackles are off a little bit for Rangers, given the situation they find themselves in this tie. 2 minutes in, 0-0 in this second leg, as Barisic rolls it to the edge of the centre circle for Sands, who shifts it to the right of it for Goldson. Side foot ball forward, Tillman, edge of the box, Arfield, an 18-yard line, rolls it forward, and rocking a hard place for Scott Arfield. He couldn't take it any further forward. His pass towards either Čolak or Tillman's cut out. Union clear, but this has been a very promising start by Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's team. The two managers down below us on the edge of their technical areas, as Barisic picks up on the near side. Short ball to Lundstrom, back with Barisic, and he rolls it to the left here for Kent. Back to Barisic, and then onto the halfway line for James Sands, who continues to deputise at centre half, as that's moved out to that right hand side. Tillman getting it from Tavernier, but losing out, and it's picked up there by Lapoussin, and eventually it's out of play for a Saint-Gilloise throw in about midway point of their own half, over on that Sandy Jardine Govan stand side of the stadium on that left flank. for Union. They head it up towards halfway, and then Tuma gets back onto it. He's threaded it through. An opportunity. Vanzier, left hand side of the box. First chance here for the Belgians. The challenge comes from Sands. He was strong. Down goes Vanzier. No shout for a penalty from the striker as Rangers get it away, with Barisic taking it forward now. It's us played 3.5, 0-0 in the game, but a little warning that Union Saint-Gilloise will cause problems of their own this evening as they look for a goal which in their minds would kill the tie off. Long into the Union box, it's headed away there by Sykes, only half clear though. Kent has it, the left angle of the penalty area, little chop, left hand side, drives it across, wins the corner. 0-0, 4 in.
Yeah, you hear the roar of the Rangers fans there. That's what they want to see Ryan Kent do. Get at your man, be positive, make things happen. But you're right, Liam, a little warning there, because within 3 passes they were in behind Rangers. And I think had there been a bit more weight on the pass, Vanzier could have been, got a shot away. He never, thankfully, Sands recovered well, and now Rangers up the pitch with a corner.
Lawrence and Kent on this near side. It'll be Lawrence with the in-swinger by the looks of it. Kent's there as a short option. And it comes from Lawrence. A good one! Headed over the bar by Tillman. He was 6 yards out. He was on the left-hand side of the 6-yard area as he met the corner kick. But it goes harmlessly wide and high. And it stays Rangers 0, Saint-Gilloise 0, with the Belgians 2-0 up on the aggregate scoreline. Kenny Miller.
It's a good chance that there, Liam. When Tillman's got off, it's a free header at the front post. I think it's one of them where he goes to head it and he mistimes it and it hits his shoulder and goes over the bar. But it's been a really, really good start. Yes, there was a little warning there. Ryan Kent, 1v1, looking fit, looking sharp. It looks like already he's got the beating of anybody he's going to come up against on that left flank. The more they can get him the ball, the better chance they're going to have tonight.
Vanzier's offside, so that was slipped through to him, the man who scored the penalty. It's made this task so much more difficult for Rangers this evening. As John McLaughlin picks up in his 6-yard line and clears with the right foot, looking for Tillman. One in the air by Van der Heyden. It goes all the way through to Sands, who slips it out to the left for Barisic. Takes it into his stride, checks his run, he's on the halfway line. Infield to Lundstrom. So impressive in those big European nights in Europa League here last season, in the knockout stages. Goldson has it on the halfway line, pokes it forward to Lundstrom, back to Connor Goldson. Bit of a shaky night for Connor Goldson in Belgium last week. He's found Barisic, who moves it infield to Lundstrom, sweeps it forward. It almost came through to Arfield, it's cut out though. Goldson picks up the scratch, finds Tavernier, now Tillman, right foot clip ball in, is headed wide by the defender Sykes, and Rangers have their second corner, 6 minutes in, 0-0, as the hosts look to try and find this early opener.
Just the speed of their play, it's one touch passing round the corner, moving off the ball. It's a decent enough ball in, easily defended, but it's better from Rangers already.
Again, Lawrence and Kent over on the near side. Kent is the short option. Lawrence put it into the area. He found Tillman last time, and he comes with the right foot towards the 6-yard line. It's headed away by Lazar, breaks to Tavernier, volleys it down into the ground, headed away by Burgess. Tavernier wins it back. Cholik picks up on the right-hand side of the penalty area. It's a delicate chip ball, looking for Kent, headed behind by Naukamp. This is a wonderful start here by Rangers. They're keeping Union Saint-Gilloise pinned right back deep inside their own half, and they have yet another corner, their third, 7 in.
Yep, just what the doctor ordered, Liam. Really positive and aggressive start. Tavernier picking rebounds up. Connor Goldson a really aggressive defensive position to keep the sustained pressure.
Yeah, Lawrence short this time to Kent, back to Barisic, bends the ball in. Lundstrom gets his head to it. It's going to drop onto the roof of the net over the bar. And again, Rangers, with all the pressure in these early stages, 7 in, it remains 0-0 in the second leg. Rangers need to win this by 2 clear goals to take it to extra time. They'll need 3 on the night to try and get through without the need for penalties.
I think he could have left that there, Kenny. I thought Goldson was behind him.
Yeah, I think so. I've seen the same thing. It's maybe just Goldson needs to maybe be a little bit more louder in demanding the ball there, because he looked like he was going to be coming onto it. Maybe not to directly head at goal, but definitely knock it back over into a dangerous area.
Rangers won just once in Europe away from home last season. They only lost once at home in Europe last season. That was to Lyon early on in their Europa League group campaign. As Kent pirouettes away from Naukamp, moves infield, switches the play left to right of the centre circle for Goldson. Everyone bar John McLaughlin's in the Saint-Gilloise half. It's out to Tavernier, flicks it to the outside of the boot. Was he caught? Yes, says the referee. Rangers have a free kick over on that far side, level with the edge of the D of the Saint-Gilloise penalty area on the Rangers right as they attack the goal to our left. 8 minutes in, nothing each.
Yeah, you know, Kent does brilliant there initially, but I just want Barisic to give him the ball sooner. He keeps getting the ball and driving forward 10, 15 yards and then passing him it. Just get it out your feet and feed him early. He's already got the beating of the fullback, and I think, you know, and this is what we never seen last week, a player in the Rangers team who's willing to go past his man and try and go past his man, and it creates all kinds of problems for the Saint-Gilloise team.
And James Tavernier complaining because one of the Union players, is like Lapoussin, wasn't the full 10 yards back, and could quite easily be done for time wasting here. Still quite early in the game. He's certainly not 10 yards back. He's at the angle of the penalty box. Tavernier takes right-footed into the box. It comes a lovely header from Čolak over the bar. It's a backwards flick there by Antonio Čolak, just off target. 9 in, Rangers 0, Saint-Gilloise 0 in the second leg.
Look, it wasn't the greatest ball in the world for James Tavernier there, but it was just a little bit behind Čolak. I felt it was just falling a little bit short, but he's done well to contort his body there and get that almost on target, just a few inches too high. Good again, just more positive stuff for Rangers this first 10 minutes of this match.
For his first Rangers goal here against Kilmarnock at the weekend, PSV Eindhoven have got the first goal of the second leg in the tie. The winners of that will face the winners of this one, of course. PSV 1, Monaco 0. That puts the Dutch team 2-1 up on the aggregate scoreline. That's a long way off right now, though, with Rangers still in this hole, 2-0 down, but it's been a very, very positive start by them. But they've gone through the opening 10 minutes without finding that early strike. Still loads of time. Čolak as well. Back to Lundstrom. Back to Sands. Out to Barisic on this near side. He's in Union half. Forward to Kent. Moves it infield. Looking for Lawrence. Can't get there, but Arfield will. Moves it back to Lawrence. Wide left of the Union box. He's now being forced back away from goal. Rolls it short to Barisic. Controls with the left foot. Crosses it into the box, and it's cleared on that far side by Lapoussin. Lazar goes down. In fact, it's Adingrau's gone down. No free kick for him, but Union win it back in the middle of the pitch, and Lazar has it now, and he's moving across halfway. Van Zier's off to the right. Is he onside? Yes, he is. Right hand side of the area. Union have 3 waiting in the middle. In comes the cross. McLaughlin holds on low on the 6-yard line. 10.5 in. Rangers 0, Union Saint-Gilloise 0.
Yeah, but again, just another scare for Rangers. You know, it's quite hectic in the middle of the pitch. The ball breaks for Union, and they break forward 4-on-4. Good goalkeeping by McLaughlin. Just, you know, the attack mounts to nothing because he comes out and collects the ball comfortably. But and just another little warning for Rangers.
The ball looking for Čolak. The flag's up anyway. Čolak was offside. He wasn't quite getting to it. 11 minutes in. It's 0-0. Rangers 2-0 down on the aggregate against last season's surprise Belgian League runners-up Union Saint-Gilloise. They were top of the table going into the playoff section. After the regular season, they were top. They were picked for the title by Club Brugge, who will be in pot 4 in the Champions League group stage, which is where Rangers would find themselves if they can clamber out of this situation and then beat PSV or Monaco in the playoffs. The long ball from one goalkeeper goes all the way through to the other. John McLaughlin has it, and he bowls it short to Sands, who finds Lundstrom. Out here to Barisic on this near side, right in front of his manager. Back to Sands, who squares it to Goldson, who rolls it along the grass out to the right-hand side for Tavernier, who's level with the edge of the centre circle in the Union half. Back into his own territory for Goldson, short to Sands, out to Barisic. Rangers trying to pass the ball around, the confidence going, get the attack flowing, and it's Sands short to Goldson again, right of the centre circle. Out to the touchline for Tavernier, and back to Sands, 12 in, 0-0. Sands looks up short with the right foot, low ball to his left for Barisic, looks up, bends the ball to the back end of the penalty area. It's going to beat Tillman. Tavernier going after it. Lapoussin for company, and he was out for a Rangers throw in level with the edge of the D of the Union box. Quickly taken by Tavernier. Rangers in a hurry, even in this early point of the second leg. Goldson has it, squares for Barisic. Barisic rolls it out to Kent on this near side. Kent now again with a step over, away from now Cope, but he couldn't get away from Ross Sykes, who puts it out of play. But a throw in. Ross Sykes, who's playing for Accrington Stanley last season, the right centre back for Saint-Gilloise. It's now with Connor Goldson, who plays it back out to Barisic on this near side. Barisic short, back to Sands. Sands, right foot ball forward to Lawrence, good control, releases it to Lundstrom, forward to Arfield, difficult to do anything with it. He did well to actually find Tillman, who finds Lundstrom. Lawrence is going to get onto it here, forces it through for Ryan Kent, just in behind the defender. Now Cope slides in to prevent it getting to Kent, and out for a Rangers throw-in down with the corner flag on this near side. 13 in, Rangers 0, Saint-Gilloise 0.
Yeah, it's a bit frantic getting. You know, Rangers are getting themselves in the good areas, just be a little bit more composed in the ball. They got a bit fortunate there, the ball nearly broke for Kent, but good defending from Neil Cope, I think it was.
It's now with James Sands, and he elects to go all the way back to John McLaughlin. Rangers supporters starved of Champions League football since season 10-11, when the two guys to my left were playing in the Rangers colours in Champions League groups. Games against Manchester United and Valencia in that group stage. As Tillman picks up midway inside the Union half on that far side, back to Goldson. Tillman starting on the right to accommodate Kent's return to the team, and it's Kent on the ball from Barisic on this near side. They know each other's game so well. Kent looks up, he's ballooned his cross though, but Tillman's going to be able to take it down. Right hand side of the box, good control, shuffles away from Lapoussin and wins Rangers' latest corner. 14 in, 0-0. They're certainly rapping on the door here.
I think you done Kent a disservice there. To me, it looked like he looked up and seen the guy at the back post, but I thought he could have fired the cross in a bit sooner. He elects to try and go past the defender and gets tackled out for the corner.
Tavernier will take out Swinger from that right hand side. Rangers attacking the goal to the left. 15th minute of the second leg. Tavernier bends it in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Nauko. Kent will get onto it. The Union coach Gerets is trying to encourage his team forward. Rangers come again, the ball in from Kent. Goldson's cushion header looking for Lundstrom, who's pointing and wagging his finger at the referee there as he goes behind for another Rangers corner. 15 in.
I think he's given a free kick there.
That is, yeah. And the Rangers supporters unhappy with the decision and unhappy with the length of time that the defender Sykes is taking to get back to his feet. Kenny Miller 15 in, the early goal hasn't come, but I suppose Giovanni Van Bronckhorst will just want his team to keep their shape and keep their composure, given it's still pretty early in the second leg.
Yeah, but the important thing is they've had the start that they need. They've had the crowd, they've got the crowd on their feet, they've got them right behind them. I just look at the last previous kind of two plays. Scotty Arfield's made really good runs, something that they've not had in the first three performances of the season, but he's asking Barisic to play it. You have to sometimes just feed them to make the defenders defend, and then you can get on the second phase if the ball doesn't come off. But Scotty's asking, particularly Borna Barisic, when you get the ball in that kind of 30 to 40 yards down, unchallenged, with your head up, he's going to make those runs. Like he's away again, but you have to play them sometimes and make the defenders defend. Otherwise, Scotty will stop making the run, and that's been a problem for Rangers in the first three games.
There's Barisic slipping it through, looking for Cholak, cut out by Sykes, picked up by Lazar, who goes down. The referee has a consultation with his linesman. No free kick. Rangers throw in instead, which Barisic will take. You might have heard a roar in the background when Kenny was talking. That was for a foul by Van der Heyden. And Lundstrom, as Goldson picks up in the centre circle and knocks it out to Tavernier wide in the right. 16.5 in. Tavernier with a long ball. Arfield flicks on, comes all the way through. There were some Rangers fans in the Broomloan who were appealing for a push on Arfield inside the box there. The protests don't last long and didn't include the players. The long ball, Tuma manages to chest it down to Adingra. He's got big shoes to fill. Adingra up front with Vanzier tonight. They lost their top goal scorer Undav last season. He and Vanzier were superb over the last two campaigns, and over 100 goals the two of them combined over those two seasons. It's won back brilliantly here by Tom Lawrence, who's driving forward and slipping it wide right for Tillman. Tillman looks up to an early ball, cleared by Sykes from inside his own box. Comes back to Tillman wide on the right, keeps it in play and rolls it short back to Tavernier. 17 in, 0-0. Rangers still trailing by 2 goals on aggregate. It's with Barisic, rolls it out to Kent on this near side touchline, up against Snowcoat. Level with 18-yard line. Lundstrom there with a little back heel. Arfield looking for Cholak, gets it back to Kent. Arfield gives chase, comes all the way through though to the goalkeeper Anthony Maurice. 17, almost 18 in. Rangers 0, Saint-Gilloise 0. The one thing you would say is Anthony Maurice hasn't had much to do with regards to saves from shots on target up to press 18 minutes in, but it is all Rangers.
Yeah, it is, and it's just the intensity at which they're playing. You know, Union can't get close to them in midfield. Lawrence has been really good driving forward. Just like I said, just the intensity, the willingness to run off the ball, as Kenny was talking about.
Given away. Yeah, Adingra picks up wide in the left, attacking the Rangers box, left-hand side of it. He's into it now. His cross takes a deflection, and Union Saint-Gilloise have their first corner of the second leg. Adingra driving down that left-hand side. And this is where it could get even more problematic for Rangers.
That's what they need to be guarded against, because that little bit of slackness there from Sands can completely change the whole dynamic of the game and the flow of the game. Rangers, it's been all Rangers, as you rightly said, but don't give them anything they can cling on to.
Can make the fans edgy as well, can't it? As Saint-Gilloise prepared to take this first corner for them this evening. Doing a lot of defending. It's an in-swinging corner from that left-hand side as they attack the goal to the right, and it comes the header down and wide from Van der Heyden. 6 yards out, he's not happy, he's looking up at the sky above. He feels he should have done better there. It stays nothing each on 19.
I think he should do better. I think he gets up really well. It's a fantastic ball in, and he just doesn't get enough on the head that it kind of slides off his forehead and just drifts. But there you go. Poor pass in midfield, in defence. They get a corner and they should probably score.
I'll tell you, it looked like Sykes was coming in behind them free as well. It didn't look like the marking was great for that set play there for Rangers.
And there was a couple
big boys, those three at the back.
Yeah, big lads.
There's Connor Goldson for Rangers. They'll look to try and get back into their pattern here.
I'd just like to see Lawrence go the other way there, Liam. It's easy to come off and get the ball, but Borna Baristers can do that. If Lawrence can do what Scotty's doing, there's going to be more of a threat.
It's well defended by now Cope on this near side against Kent. Barisic wins it back off Banzier. Lundstrom in the centre of the pitch. Lovely little backfield by Tillman. Out wide right, Tavernier. Level with the edge of the D of the Union box. Short ball infield to Tillman. Couple of touches, gets his ball in, and it's slid behind for the corner by Burgess. It stays Rangers 0, Union 0. 20 minutes played. Rangers, I think this is them up to 6 corners now.
I was hoping that would lead to a goal, so we could talk about that outrageous touch from Tillman there. The ball's fizzed in at him and he just flicks it away with a Cruyff. Incredible touch.
Still 1-0 to PSV against Monaco. They lead 2 on an aggregate. The corner back to Lawrence. Stinks the ball in. Headed away there by Sykes, and the whistle goes, and Union Saint-Gilloise have a free kick in and around their own penalty area. 20 and a half on the clock, nothing each.
I don't think there's a more frustrating thing. You know, the ball's coming in. Yes, you can see he's going to head it away, but he's probably not going to get that much distance on it. Just let him head it, and hopefully you pick up the second ball, which, by the way, they have done 90% of the time. Shove him in the back, give away a cheap free kick. Attack's over.
79% is the possession statistic in favour of Rangers right now, but they haven't made the possession count as far as the scoreline's concerned. It stays 0-0, and Saint-Gilloise will be pretty happy with that, given how raucous this place has been since the first whistle, as Barisic plays it short infield to Lawrence. Lawrence midway inside Union territory, out wide left for Barisic. Short ball back by Borna Barisic for James Sands, who finds Goldson right of the centre circle. Goldson doesn't really get a touch onto that. Tavernier goes after it, and it goes out for a Rangers throw-in. And Tavernier certainly seemed to leave a little bit on Tuma over on that far side as well. It's gone for a Rangers throw-in. Tuma, who scored the opening goal in Leuven a week ago, is on the deck in apparent pain as we approach the end of the first quarter of the second leg, with Rangers still 2-0 down on the aggregate.
I don't know about you, Kenny, but I'm going to throw out there that he's all right.
If I was a betting man, Richard, he'll be back on within 10 seconds of going off. He's relieving the pressure. He's trying to use all the experience that he's got. There was a coming together with James, and he's going down to buy his team a little bit of respite for the pressure that they're under. And it's clever play. You would do the same if you're on the field there, but there's nothing in it. Well, there's nothing from our view across here, that's for sure.
Well, the referee didn't think there was anything in it either, because he's given Rangers a throw-in, which Tavernier's going to take once Teddy Tuma decides he's okay. He's a Malta international. He was born in France. 23 caps. He played 7 of Malta's 2022 World Cup qualifiers in the campaign, which ended at the tail end of last year. And he's off the pitch over on that Sandy Jardine stand side of the stadium. Tavernier bowling it back to Goldson. Came on again, and the guys, I don't even think it was 10 seconds.
Oh, I was wrong, yeah, it was 3 seconds, it wasn't 10.
Here's Kent on the near side. He's got runners ahead of him. Ryan Kent moving in field. Rangers need someone with a magic touch tonight. They've got plenty on the pitch who can provide that, for sure. Here's one of them in Tavernier. His attempted ball is cut out over on that far side by Le Poussin, and Tavernier can't control, and it's out for a throw into Saint-Gilloise. 23 in, 0-0 in the second leg.
I think Kent had an opportunity that he does well and drives inside, and Lawrence actually makes a really well timed run forward, the run that Kenny's been wanting to make, and I thought Kent could have just slipped him through, but he tries to go again and go inside another player, and it goes out to Tavernier and the ball comes back to the hunt.
Lundstrom finds Barisic, she comes forward. Rangers try again, infield to Lawrence. Lawrence moves out to the left hand side, passes it low to Kent. Kent has it, he's looking up at the penalty area. It's a good challenge, to be fair, from Naucope, and now there's a chance here for them to break forward. Saint-Gilloise Vanzier on this near side is passed forward towards Lazars, cut out by Barisic, and out it goes for a throw into the visitors just inside their own half on this Bill Struth main stand side. 24 in, 0-0.
Yeah, I just hope that knock's not on Ryan Kent's ankle that he's been toiling with over the last couple of weeks, because it did look a little bit nasty. As much as he won the ball, there was a bit of follow through and a bit of contact there. Rangers just need to be really, like Connor Golson, James Sands, Barisic in particular, they need to be just switched on for the counter. It's all Union are going to have all night. There's going to be long periods, 79% you say, is where you've got the ball, asking questions. They need to be aware, which, to be fair, for the most part already, they've done really well in defending those situations. There's only been a couple of instances where they've maybe got on.
Sykes with a long throw, which comes off now. Cope, but goes behind harmlessly for a goal kick. He was inside the Rangers box there, and John McLaughlin takes it short to Goldson, and he rolls it out to Tavernier on that right hand side.
That is the thing when you're playing such an attacking team, when the ball
Oh, it's a good ball towards Kent. At least it looked good from Goldson. He's more than capable of that. It's too high for Kent. It goes out for a Union throw.
It's the right ball, it's just the wrong execution there. But just touching what we were saying before, with that many attacking players in the team, they're putting so much in, they're moving, they're constantly asking questions. When the ball does turn over, Rangers are a little bit light if in that midfield to back area. Really key, Goldson and Sands.
Comes off the head of Naucope, and Vanzier can't get it under control. Lundstrom hits it back into his own half for Sands. Forward it goes. I think Barisic was the intended target, and Lawrence is smashed to the ground by Naucope, and that's going to be a free kick to Rangers before Lazar comes in, nicks the ball away from where the free kick's going to be taken. He's lucky he's not been yellow carded there. It looked like a blatant act of time wasting. 25.5 minutes, stays nothing each as Goldson rolls it out to Tavernier on that far side. Right to left of the circle for Sands, forward into the Union half here for Lawrence. Lawrence up against Lazar, looks up, right foot, angle ball. Tillman's not getting there, it just swept away from Van der Heyden, but the man on loan from Bayern Munich couldn't get there, and it's a goal kick. 26 minutes in, it remains Rangers 0, Union Saint-Gilloise 0. Rangers are standing on the Champions League precipice after last week's first leg, and yet to really test Anthony Maurice in the Saint-Gilloise goal.
Yeah, they've got a bit, not desperate, it's too early for that, but that's a really tough pass that Lawrence tries. That's
the wrong pass for Richard.
Yeah.
It's the right pass, the wrong execution. He's trying to drill it. It needs to be fed into the area to allow Tillman time to get on the end there.
Here's Lundstrom getting it from Barisic at close quarters, back out to the left for Barisic. Infield to Lundstrom, 26.5 on the clock, 0-0 in the second leg. Barisic again on the near side, forward to Lawrence, first time back for Kent, sliding in Naucope, and the referee's going to give Rangers a free kick here. It's almost level with the edge of the Union box, left of centre. It's a foul by Naucope, says the referee.
He can't deal with Ryan Kent. He can't deal with his pace, his movement, his sharpness, and as we spoke about before with someone like Kent, he just brings a different dynamic. What you'll find is the right side centre half comes over to cover because he knows that Kent's got the beating of his wing back, and that creates space. It's not amounted to anything yet, but obviously Rangers will be hopeful that it will soon.
But they need to recognise that, Richard, because you're spot on. So whether that's where Lawrence needs to make the runs and allow Barisic to come and be the supporting player, and it might be a bounce in to go through. They need to take advantage of those situations with Ryan Kent.
Barisic and Lawrence stand over this free kick, eyeing up the Saint-Gilloise penalty area. Barisic moves forward, he steps over, it's going to be Lawrence, right-footed into the box, and the goalkeeper does make a save! Might even come off one of his own players. Goldson and Cholak attacked it, it's tipped over for the corner. 28th minute, Rangers 0, Saint-Gilloise 0.
What a save that is. It comes at him so quickly and he gets a good left hand up. but that was that incredible. I mean, a fantastic ball in from Lawrence, but fair play to the goalkeeper. He's just produced an absolute worldie there.
Really well worked free kick. Run it over, drag the back line back, and the delivery and the run, the timing was perfect. It's a wonderful save. Really should be 1-0.
Rangers wasted the corner there. They took it short and it came bouncing off a Union player out for a throw-in, and from the resultant throw-in it's gone harmlessly behind for a Union goal kick, just when they wanted to try and keep the momentum going there, after the supporters thought they had seen their team open the scoring in this second leg, and to reduce the deficit it stays 0-0 as the goal kick's taken by Burgess, the defender, and he takes the goal kick and plays it straight back to his goalkeeper. He plays it long. Lazar collects inside the centre circle, brought to the ground by Arfield. Free kick, Saint-Gilloise, just inside the Rangers half. We've played almost 29, Rangers 0, Saint-Gilloise 0. Giovanni van Bronckhorst would love his team to score at least once before the break, because with this backing in the second half, it would be very difficult for Saint-Gilloise to keep Rangers at bay in that kind of scenario. As McLaughlin boots it forward and it bounces out on that far side. Tillman's kept it in though, little header looking for Cholak, but Burgess rather wins it back. Tillman tries to win it back for Rangers. Tillman goes down and the referee blows for the free kick. Can't quite hear the whistle, I'm assuming he blew because he's moving over there, and he says it will be a Rangers free kick in the 30th minute of the game at 0-0.
He's got some really clever touches, Tillman. He's really aware of where the pressure is, how he receives the ball, really good. You would just like to see him impact it a little bit more. He's got so much ability, always looking to turn and go forward and play forward.
Rangers have only lost 4 of the last 58 home matches. Slavia Prague, Malmo, Lyon and Celtic. This is a comfort for them, is Ibrox, and on the European stage as well.
You hear the crowd, Liam, no wonder.
Yeah, that's 30 in to the second legs. They are still 2 goals down. They need 2 just to take this to extra time. Here's Sands. Barisic is an option out in the left. A third of the second leg's come and gone. Barisic with a cross ball. It's headed away by Van der Heyden. They've been so solid at the back. Saint-Gilloise, there's not really been too many moments that Rangers have sliced that defence wide open, as Lazar does well to stay on his feet. Eventually goes to the ground, fouled by Lawrence. Free kick to Union on this near side in front of the Rangers technical area in the 31st minute. Rangers 0, Union Saint-Gilloise 0, and 2-0 to the Belgian Pro League runners-up from last season on the aggregate scoreline.
Yeah, I just don't feel feeding that ball in from 40 yards into the box is unless you put it right in between the defence and the goalkeeper, but they seem to be playing it right on top of the defenders' heads, and as we spoke about, the 3 centre-halves are massive and they're just eating it up.
Fans here giving chase as he looks to get back onto the give and go. He can't get there. Barisic goes back to McLaughlin, who fires it forward. Kent takes it down well, brilliant control. Back to Barisic, back to Lundstrom into the middle of the pitch, and he sweeps it out to Tavernier on the right. Inside his own half though here, clips it forward to Tillman, well read there in the far side by Van der Heyden, who slides in, and out it goes for a Rangers throw-in taken by Tillman. Quickly back to Goldson, and he moves it, switching it to the left for Borna Barisic. PSV still 1-0 up against Monaco, 2-1 in aggregate. Joey Veerman with the goal this evening. So as it stands, it will be PSV against Saint-Gilloise in the playoff. The losers of those ties go directly into the Europa League group stage. There'd be no playoff for that. They would go straight in the groups if they lose this one, or prospective playoff, but it's the Champions League Rangers want to be in. Lawrence picks up from Barisic, moves it out to Kent on the near side, shows too much of it to Nauko, and now he's found Lazar, who pokes it forward to Vanzier. Rolls it out to Nauko. It's a misunderstanding, and Van Bronckhorst is first to the ball as he gives it straight to Barisic. He's in a hurry, the Dutchman. Champions League winner with Barcelona, of course, is Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, as Lundstrom picks up and pumps a long ball out to the right for Tavernier. Up against Lapoussin on that far side, wins it, rolls it back to Tillman. Tillman shuffles infield away from Tuma, moving towards the box, little ball towards Lawrence, cut out by Sykes. He controlled it on the chest there, to be fair to him, just inside the box as his clearance comes off the head of Goldson, who finds Sands, who finds Lundstrom, moves it out to Tavernier wide on the right. 33rd minute here of the second leg, still 0-0. Tavernier into Lundstrom, rolls it to Lawrence. Lawrence looks up at the goal, he's good from distance, looks up right footed, it's wide of the right hand post from about 22 yards with the right foot past the right hand post, and it stays Rangers 0, Union Saint-Gilloise 0, and 2-0 in aggregate. We are 12 minutes away from half time in this second leg.
I think it was the wrong option there again. It's going to be some hell of a strike to beat the goalkeeper from there. Because of the angle you're on, you can't really get enough power on it. And I just think he's actually in behind the midfield, just drive with the ball and try and maybe feed Cholak down in the inside channel, but he takes a shot. I mean, I know he strikes the ball very, very well, but he's going to have to hit that almost perfect to score from there.
He was unlucky, he thumped one off the Kilmarnock crossbar here on Saturday afternoon. Rangers 2-0 win. Here's Barisic. He's now coming forward, looking ahead of him. Cholak was in there, his cross cut out by Vanzier, out for a Rangers throw-in, which Kent takes quickly, bowling it back to Sands. Sands is left of the centre circle with the right foot along the grass, out to Kent on this near side. Kent moving forward up against Vanzier. Back to Lawrence, back to Kent, good touch. Kent though runs into trouble and then brings down his man, and that will be a free kick to Saint-Gilloise. It was actually good play in the middle of the park there by Senny Leenan, who does the defensive midfield job. He got in the way, and full credit to them. You know, they defended well last week, albeit Rangers were nowhere near as big a threat as we know they can be. Tonight they've been under the cosh possession-wise, almost pinned back against the ropes for the vast majority of this first half. They look pretty watertight right now.
Yeah, they defended well. You know, you've got your three centre-halves who are defensively very good from cross balls. You've got Linen there, as you spoke about. Oh, I think they got away with one there. You get Linen there, good defensive midfielder. He recognises Kent's going to turn, gets tight to him, wins the ball back before he can get his head up and get away from him. So you're right, they do, like I said, they drop into that five at the back, and it's difficult to break down.
Here's John Lundstrom picking up in the centre circle, looks up, 4 in blue and white ahead of him. It's a long ball towards Kent. It's a poor touch, couldn't get there. He just comes off his toe and goes behind for the goal kick to the visitors. The final 10 minutes of the first half, the second leg of this UEFA Champions League third qualifying round tie. It's Rangers 0, Union Saint-Gilloise 0, and 2-0 to the Belgians on aggregate still.
And that might be the best chance that Rangers are going to get. They've had 2 opportunities, Goldson twice, just misplayed. In the past there was all right. I think Ryan just probably took the wrong option. He's trying to get it down in control. He might have been better saved just letting it run, getting on it, getting into the final third, facing his man up. But there's opportunities quickly on a counter. When they're getting set with their back five, like Richard says, from front to back there's 15 yards, there's 10 bodies. They're across the pitch, they're 20-22 yards. You can't play through that, so you need to play over it or play around it quickly.
Whistle goes, Rangers free kick inside their own half over on that far side. Rangers haven't managed to come from 2-0 down and win a European tie after losing the first leg. They have come from 2-0 down and won a second leg by 2 goals, although they went out to Victoria Zizkov in 2002. But of course, the away goal rule was very much in play then, as Lundstrom gives it away to Adingra, who can't take advantage. Sands has it, he boots it forward. It's going to go out of play for a throw-in to Union down by the corner flag on this near side. A little bit nervy from Lundstrom there, the square ball.
Yeah, it was, and it was similar to the Sands pass earlier. It's all they're going to have is these counter moments and set play situations. It's the only threat they're going to pose probably tonight on this first half showing. But I wouldn't get too disheartened without the goal, because let me tell you, Richard and I have played in games for and against. When you're constantly on the ball, when you're getting asked, you're asking questions of a defensive unit, as the game goes on, gaps will appear. They cannot stay this drilled for 90 minutes, so gaps will appear. Rangers just need to stay patient and keep doing the right things, keep making the right decisions, keep making, every time there should be forward runs. Anytime Barisic, Goldson, Lundstrom get the ball, there should be runs penetrating that back line every single time. They need to just be absolutely relentless in their pursuit of a goal.
Here come Rangers again with Barisic, 37 on the clock, as they look for the crucial breakthrough. Kent's lost out to Lazare, pops it round Sands, who brings him down, and the yellow card's coming out here for James Sands. He might actually be relatively comfortable with that yellow card because Lazare popped it round him and he was away had it not been for the foul. 37.5 on the clock at 0-0.
Again, it's those slack moments, those loose passes, and it just gives them the opportunity to get themselves up the pitch, get fouls, take this thing out of the game. Because yes, I agree with Kenny 100% that as the game goes on, gaps will appear, players will tire, they'll switch off. But also, with this crowd here, Rangers can score, and by the way, they can score within minutes because of the lift and the boost they'll get from scoring that goal. So they don't need to panic yet. Union have done all right, they've defended quite well, but Rangers need to keep going and keep working them.
Yeah, they're doing well. One of their defenders was Accrington Stanley last season, and the season before, the other one, Burgess, was at Portsmouth. So I'm not talking about seasoned European professionals here. This is the first tie in European competition for Saint-Gilloise since the mid-60s, as Sykes is booked for time wasting. He's taken a while over the throw-in on the near side, according to the Greek referee, and he follows James Sands into the referee's book.
He's a bit unlucky there. He walked to where the throw-in was being taken, and he had a ball in his hands, but
very harsh, I thought, as well, to be honest.
Long throw in from Sykes, the chest towards Tuma. Tavernier had to get there and does. Lundstrom now Tillman. Sholak had made a run ahead of him. It's Tillman on the far side, taking it out to the touchline, loses it to Lapoussin though, and now Teddy Tuma's on it. Sliding in is Tavernier, and out for a Union throw-in over on that far side. 6 from the break, 0-0.
Those are the moments you spoke about, Kenny. Do more. You do so well initially, but then be dynamic and beat your player.
Yep, it's nice, Richard. It's like trying to be that type of that academy, nice kind of foot. Like, you've got to do more there. It's a real chance.
Oh, there's a late challenge. Here comes Adingra. The free kick, I think, has been given. Left-hand side of the box. It's level with the penalty spot. That's not far away from being a penalty. And if it was on the other side of the line, the VAR will be having a look at it.
Scary moment.
It's right on the line, Kenny. I'm just seeing a little replay of it here to my left, and that is right on the line. It's just outside.
Just a free kick, yeah.
Just outside from being a penalty.
That's exactly what I said.
Well done. Free kick taken here, about level with the penalty spot then for Union. Nervy little moment this for Rangers as we knock on half-time.
And that's the thing that probably Rangers lose in their team tonight, is these dueling abilities when you've got your Arfields, your Tillmans, your Kents, your Lawrences. Effectively, you've got two of these guys playing central midfield, so when you get to these moments where you need to win duels and be strong competitive, it's no their strength, so Tillman again being back in his own defensive third, dangling a leg, so close to giving a penalty away. It's not where you want to see these guys. You want to see them at the other end of the pitch.
Union have 2 over this 2-man Rangers wall. John McLaughlin waits. Free kick's taken short, back to the edge of the area. Tuma takes a touch, his efforts blocked there by Goldson. Still alive, Adingra hits it, blocked, out for a throw-in on the far side to Saint-Gilloise. You're finishing the first half strongly here, it would seem.
I tell you what, they're lucky that the ball across to Tuma is not a great one, because we've seen him last week. He can strike the ball really well, and they worked it really well. He had a bit of space. If that ball's rolled along the ground, he's hitting that and he's getting a free shot goal from 18 yards.
Half time, incidentally, the Philips Stadion in Eindhoven. PSV leading Monaco 1-0 in the night and 2-1 overall. Final 4 minutes of the first half here, as that's knocked back the way to Goldson. He goes back to his keeper and John McLaughlin hits it forward. It's now with Kent, chests it back to Lawrence. He's given it away this time, and now it's with Lazare. Rangers have lost some momentum in this game. Here's Vanzier picking up on the near side. Sands toes it away from him and out for a throw into Saint-Gilloise, level with the Rangers 6-yard line.
And they've lost momentum by their own slack play, Liam. It's Ryan Kent's short pass to Sands, free kick, turnover, booking, opportunity, a throw in, then leads to there. You have the ability to counter there. Ryan Kent just miscontrols it. Then you turn it over stupidly. There's no need to turn the ball over there for Lawrence to Kent. Just play the correct pass.
Long throw in coming from Sykes. He's obviously a bit of a specialist at this, and it comes and it goes over the head of both now Cope and Sands, and it's now back with John McLaughlin, who underarm bowls it to Tavernier on the right. 42 in the clock, 0-0. It's now with Colak on the halfway line. First time back to Lundstrom. Lundstrom fires it out to Barisic wide on the left-hand side. Rangers coming forward in numbers here. Barisic to Kent. Kent loses out to now Cope, who wins it back all too easily. And now it's Vanzier across the halfway line, driving at Sands. Vanzier moving ever closer to the Rangers box. He evades James Sands and rolls it with the right foot wide left for Le Poussin. Up against Tavernier, into the box he goes. He's going to work the 1-2 and gets it back, and down he goes, and out goes the ball. Goal kick only. 42 and a half played. 0-0. But this has been a good few minutes for Saint-Gilloise and a worrying few minutes for Giovanni van Bronckhorst down there.
Yeah, it was just Ryan Kent losing the ball in the final third. I mean, you've committed so many bodies forward. We've talked about it so many times in the first half. The counter moment is going to cause you issues.
Rangers have it with Barisic, long ball forward. Colak goes down, no free kick. In fact, it's Lawrence who's gone down. Colak was waiting at the edge of the D. Down went Lawrence, no free kick. The Rangers supporters letting the referee know what they make of that decision. And in the final 2 minutes,
Lawrence would be better served just getting up and keeping the momentum of the game.
Here is Barisic. Lifts the ball into the right-hand side. Oh, that looked like a handball. Yes, penalty. Rangers penalty. One of the most obvious handballs you'll see all season long. Off Van der Heyden, who's not even complaining about it. Rangers have a penalty in the final minute and 20 seconds of this first half, and up steps James Tavernier.
And it's a Stonewaller, and it's just from across in the box and getting numbers in and around the ball, asking them a question. When you play this way and you ask questions to the defenders, sometimes you get the right answer. On that occasion, they've got the penalty, and it's a Stonewall handball, and what an opportunity right on half-time to take the roof off this place.
What a moment this will be. Richard, you've got time to give us your take on it.
It means a definite penalty, but what a time to score. You go into half-time absolutely buzzing.
Let's listen to this place, the anticipation amongst the Rangers supporters. It's the final minute of the first leg of the second leg in this Champions League third qualifying round tie. Rangers 2 down in aggregate. This is huge. Tavernier with the right foot. Goal! James Tavernier gives Ibrox lift off and gives Rangers lift off. They are up to their eyeballs in this tie again all of a sudden. It is Rangers 1, Union Saint-Gilloise 0, 2-1 in aggregate. The arrears are halved as Tavernier sends Anthony Maurice the wrong way.
And the Rangers players need to keep their cool here. Like, you know, they've just got their goal. Colak's just been booked for a potentially slapping the centre back in the face. Scotty Arfield's head to head with the goalkeeper. Just get in at half time now. Get out and go and get this next goal. What a time to get that goal. Oh, kicked off after that goal there, Richard.
It's one of those, Kenny, where it doesn't matter how quickly you get the ball back, they're not going to take centre any quicker. So just, you've scored the goal, brilliant, right before half time, get yourself back to your half, take the other team will kick off, and maybe you'll get a chance before half time. But silly, because if VAR look at that, it looked to me like he slapped him in the back of the head. Now, he never hurt him.
Yeah.
Definitely never hurt him.
But I think the goalkeeper punched Scotty in the face as well. He had a swing as well.
First half injury time, there was some added. I didn't see the board as Teddy Chuma comes forward looking for Vanzier. 2 minutes were added on, I'm hearing, as Vanzier chases it and wins the corner right at the end of the first half, because we're into the second of the 2 minutes that were added on. He's done well there to win the corner kick. Colak confirmed as being booked there. But the Rangers supporters know what this place can do to visiting teams. What they will hope now is that they don't concede a sloppy equalising goal in the night from this corner in the final minute of first half play. Teddy Chuma takes it, headed away at the near post, there by Colak. Kent picks up on this near side and wins the throw-in down here as well. Well, how often has James Tavernier been the hero for Rangers in Europe? 16 times. It's his 16th goal in European competition for Rangers. He was the Europa League's top goal scorer last season. It's his second of the campaign after his winner at Livingston a week and a half ago, and he's just given it straight to Vanzier. He apologises. He's been bailed out by Sands, who wins it back off the Union striker as Lawrence picks up his pass, comes bouncing back off Leenan into the path of Goldson.
You know what, I like that from Goldson. Just calm the game down. couple of loose passes from Rangers players. You're winning the game. It's going to be half-time soon. You don't need to score straight away. Just calm down and stop giving away the ball cheaply.
Rangers fans believe. Throw in taken quickly by Chollet. We've played the 2 minutes. Time added in, time added. The referee's having a little look at his watch. This will be the stoppage because of the celebrations after the Rangers goal. Goldson looks up at the Union box, rolls it to his right, and the referee blows for half-time. Goldson annoyed that nobody made a run into the penalty area to try and get one last opportunity at the end of the first half. But Rangers will settle for this because the goal came in the final minute of the regulation 45 after the handball by Sieb van der Heyden. He put his left arm out, it bounced off it right in front of the Greek referee, Mr. Sidropoulos, who pointed to the spot, and up stepped James Tavernier, and the goalkeeper Maurice went to his right, the ball went to his left, it went to Tavernier's right, into the right corner of the net. It's a huge goal because it's half the deficit. It's brought Rangers right back into this third qualifying round tie in the Champions League. And if you thought it was noisy in the first half, wait for the second 45. Half-time at Ibrox. It is Rangers 1, Union Saint-Gilloise 0. 2-1 the Belgians lead on aggregate.
Rangers in the Champions League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
The sun is shining. My legs are out.
This August, BBC Radio Scotland returns to the Edinburgh Festivals.
It truly is such a thrill, and I think it's shared by everyone here and wherever you're listening, to actually be back.
Bringing you live music.
You've got us vibing in the front and the back.
Conversation.
It's been a mind-stretching, thought-provoking session. Thank you very much.
Comedy.
Have you ever had to buy something you didn't want to?
Bought a Skisha perfume from a nightclub attendant.
And everything in between.
We are revelling in the Edinburgh Festival. How are you doing?
Coverage continues tomorrow on the afternoon show with Grant Stott on BBC Radio Scotland.
This is Sports and we're live from Ibrox Stadium where Rangers have a 1-0 advantage at half-time against Union Saint-Gilloise. They still trail 2-1 on aggregate, but my goodness, the timing of that latest James Tavernier European goal could be absolutely crucial. They've just got the second half up and running in Eindhoven. PSV 1-0 up on the night against Monaco thanks to Joey Veerman, who scored in the first leg in Monaco as well. So that's 2-1 on aggregate for the Dutch side. It is first round night in the Challenge Cup. The latest scorelines from around the country into the second half. It's Brora Rangers 0, Aberdeen B 0. Some game at Clifton Hill. Well, Albion Rovers were 2-0 up against Celtic B through Fagan and a core own goal. Vata and Lowell were the goals to get Celtic B back on level terms. Bonnie Rig Rose 0, Livingston B 0, Elgin City 0, Dundee United B 0, Fraserburgh 0, St Johnstone B 1, Perth with the only goal in that one. Kilmarnock in charge against Kerdenbeath, or at least their B team are. Wales and Warnock scoring the goals there. Motherwell are trailing 1-0 to East Kilbride. João Victoria Pereira with the goal for the Lowland League outfit. And at half-time it's St Mirren B 0, East Stirlingshire 0. Little pointer, of course, at Thursday night from the Champions League qualifiers to the Conference League qualifiers. We'll have Dundee United in action against AZ Alkmaar in the Netherlands. 1-0 up from the first leg. Live on the radio, live also on BBC Scotland Television. And then on Friday night, same channel, Championship football, Friday night football. What a game it could be at Dens Park. Dundee against Arbroath. You can watch that one live coverage, of course, on the radio as well. Live second half commentary to come from here at Ibrox. My goodness, the goal sneaked in. It was a blatant penalty. No need for VAR to spend any time checking that one, and no need for any discussions about the bottom of the armpits or indeed the t-shirt line when it came to that. It was as clear an arm ball, handball as you could possibly have. Tavernier did what Tavernier generally does, and that would have come as a relief, Richard, because Saint-Gilloise were starting to look a bit stronger in the closing stages of that half.
Yeah, Rangers had not run out of ideas, but they started giving the ball away in the advanced areas. They started just like throwing the ball aimlessly into the box. They they were losing a little bit of the control they had for the most of the game, and you know, Saint-Gilloise were getting up the pitch. There's a couple of nervy moments, but that's a fantastic time to score a goal. You know, you get at half-time, you're 1-0 up, you know, score a goal in each half and it goes to extra time, but Rangers are more than capable of scoring 2 goals in this second half, but they have to cut out the slackness, the slack passes, the poor tackles from Tillman there right on the edge of the box. You know, another inch, 2 inches, and that's a penalty conceded. So they need to be careful in these moments, because this team are dangerous. They have good players, they carry the ball well, but right now things are going well for Rangers. It could be better, but we've had one wonder save from the goalkeeper. Other than that, he's not really had much to do. So Rangers need to. They've had a lot of decent enough play, a lot of dangerous situations, but they need to work the goalkeeper a little bit more.
There have been a few moments of concern for Rangers, Kenny. They've largely been self-inflicted, haven't they? They've been giving the ball away in really dangerous positions at times.
Yeah, square passes. I think Tavernier, Lundstrom, Sands have all been have all fell foul here. Ryan Kent losing the ball in the final third, then leads to a counter, then a short pass leads to James Sands getting booked. So they just need to be really, really tidy when they're on the ball, not make silly mistakes, not force things. They don't need to force things. That being said, as much as they have thrown balls into the box, I don't mind it, because you're asking the question, like you did for the penalty, you're asking a big centre back to deal with a situation under pressure for 1 or 2 players, and he never dealt with that situation. We don't want to see it every single time, because Rangers have got the quality where they can combine with Kents, with Lawrence's, with Tillmans, getting Cholak involved. But every now and again, putting a ball in and asking a team to defend, again, preferably when they're facing their own goal, with that ball that Richard was talking about in between the defence and the goalkeeper. I don't think there's a big deal to do that. I think they need to do it in certain times, but then they need to be really clean with their combinations round about the box. That's how you open up teams, as well as something I'm actually getting really, really bored saying about. They need to make forward penetrating runs. Scott Arfield's the only one that does it, but you can see it for Ryan Kent, Tillman, Tavernier can do it for the wider area. Definitely Tom Lawrence can do it from the opposite side that Arfield's doing it. The more you do that, the more questions asked, the more space you might create for these types of players, the Tillmans and the Kents. So it's been a real good half. Great timing in the first goal. Probably, yeah, they never tested the goalkeeper as much as they would have liked, but the pressure is they have succumbed to that pressure at the end, and they've made a mistake, a costly mistake. Hopefully it'll be, because like Richard says, as the game goes on, Rangers are more than capable with the substitutes that could come on and impact the game, and the pressure and mountain with this crowd behind them. Rangers can go and win this game in normal time.
It's the first time I've seen both Tillman and Lawrence in the flesh, Richard. There's an awful lot to enjoy about their play, but I just wonder if at times Rangers are almost suffering because they've got players. I appreciate they offer at times different things, but essentially they're trying to do the same thing in terms of Tillman and Lawrence and Arfield.
Not so much Arfield. He is the one that's a little bit different, and he is the one that, like Kenny says, it's so unselfish from Scott Arfield, because he makes those runs, and a lot of the time he knows he's actually not going to get the ball, but he's just trying to move the back line to maybe create space for a Tillman, for a Lawrence. I agree with Kenny. I think Lawrence can add that to his game and run beyond the striker, and I just want to see more from Tillman. You can see in the touches he makes and some of the things he does. Very, very talented player.
The kind of back flick almost that set up Tavernier was outstanding.
You know, incredible touches like that. But he needs to do more. He needs to be more productive. He needs to be a Ryan Kent. He needs to go past his player. He needs to be delivering balls in the box, having shots. You know, it's all neat and tidy and it looks good. But you just want him to. You can see that he's got the ability there. You just want him to go and use it and actually just go, you know what, I'm going to be the guy that creates something. The one, because with Kent often feels that he has to be the player that's going to do something, that's going to light up Ibrox. Now Tillman's got the quality to go and do that, and with these players, you just, you know, Kenny's right, the younger players coming through, sometimes it's all nice, neat touches. Just go and be the guy, grab the game by the scruff of the neck, and you go and be the guy that creates a chance or scores a goal.
I'm just wondering, sorry Richard, that Tillman, again, I'm just getting the feeling again that that's not Tillman's position. You know, similar to like an Aribo, or similar to, he wants to maybe be more inside and be more central, where I think he can, where he came on against Livingston at half time, that's where he came on off the striker, and I just think that could he be a little bit more productive, and I'm just trying to think how Giovanni's thinking now, with Tavernier playing on that side alongside him, with him coming inside and Tavernier bombing on the outside, he should be able to adopt those types of kind of second 10 positions, but it's like you can see his ability, you just need to want him to have a little bit more impact on the game.
We saw a lot of Ryan Kent in the early stages, less so perhaps in the, I don't know, the final 20 minutes or so of the half. Was that down to Union Saint-Gilloise handling him better? Was it simply that actually Rangers weren't getting him as involved? We saw so many Barisic hitting some long angled diagonals rather than actually using Kent to put pressure on the visiting defence.
Yeah, again, I think it might have been even a little bit of Ryan maybe just tiring towards the end of the half, because he did get a little bit sloppy with the turnover of the ball and the short pass back to James Sands. But he is the one that you want to feed as much as possible. Richard touched on it in commentary. He just would like to see Barisic just take out your feet and just feed him, you know, and he might then come back to you, but he might come back to you as you're 15 yards higher up the pitch. He might come back to you to combine to get in behind his fullback, but feeding him as early as possible and as much as possible is going to give him a little bit more time and give the defence a little less time to get set to deal with the threat of Ryan Kent.
The longer this goes, the more Alfredo Morelos is going to be warming up in the direct eye line of the manager, trying to just remind him that he's there, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and that, you know, like I said about Tillman, Morelos is that guy. He's the guy who goes, put me on, I'm going to score a goal, and that's what you want from Tillman, because he's got the ability. That's what you want from Lawrence, because he's got the ability. So, you know, 15 minutes in, if Rangers haven't scored a second goal, I'm pretty sure you'll see Alfredo Morelos either come onto the pitch or certainly go out for an intense warm-up, because he's just, again, he's different to Čolak. He can make things happen on his own. You know, Alfredo Morelos at his best, he just annoys defenders. He takes the ball in, he bullies them. You know, he can hold the ball up, he can run with it, he can run in behind, he shoots, and I just think he'll give the Union defence something different to deal with. And now I don't know if, I would imagine if they need a goal, Čolak will maybe stay on and Morelos can kind of play alongside him. But if Čolak comes off and Morelos goes up through the middle on his own, we've seen how good he is at that role himself, and he could potentially be a big player for Rangers. But like I say, I like the fact that he seems to be that guy that goes, put me on in the game and I will score you the goal.
Yeah, Rangers having to give so much to this, it's not going to be a surprise if we see a number of changes, and you'd imagine they will all be of an offensive nature. Morelos was late in coming out there. The rest of the subs are out. They've got the orange bibs on. He's only just come out within the last minute or so. So whether he was down, whether he was getting some instructions, or whether he's just had other things to do, he's out there now.
I don't think Alfredo will be coming on. I don't think he's got maybe 45 minutes in him. Yeah. I think he needs to, we said it all along, if the tie's alive and it's 1-0, even 0-0 going into the last 20 minutes, half an hour, he's the one you want to be coming on to impact the game, because he is completely different to Čolak. He is all energy, he's all action, he'll make different runs, he'll be a different threat altogether. So I would expect him, if it stays this way, and even if it's at 2-0, I still think if it's 2-0 with 15 minutes to go, absolutely get Alfredo on, because you don't want to have to go through extra time or penalties. If you're in the ascendancy and you're putting this team under a lot of pressure, just go and get the job done. And I think Rangers, when you look at the subs bench, a player we don't even talk about now is Scott Wright, but he's been so trusted to play in big games with Giovanni Van Bronckhorst at the start of this season and at the end of last season. So there's so much attacking threat on that bench that can come on and impact this game in a positive way.
Yeah, well, he started the Europa League final, didn't he? I mean,
and semi-final,
yeah,
both legs.
Exactly. And of course that at a time when Rangers were having real problems up front in terms of strikers, getting fit strikers out there in the park. They've got them now. Certainly Čolak getting towards full fitness and playing. Morelos edging back to the point where he will be the automatic starter, you'd imagine, up front, given the record he's had. He's down there, he's among the subs right now, just doing a fairly leisurely warm-up at half-time in Eindhoven. Almost an hour gone, still PSV 1, Monaco 0. In fact, there's just been a goal in that, and Monaco have just equalised on the night, so they had to equalise 10 minutes from the end to make it 1-1 in the first leg, and Maripan has just levelled up in the 58th minute. The big defender has got the equaliser there, so 1-1 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. Rangers though still trailing 2-1 overall to Saint-Gilloise. A grandstand, 45 minutes in store. They also, I guess, have to remember just to be quite patient at times, Richard, and certainly to be switched on.
Yeah, of course. You know, they've got the goal in the first half. They need one more goal. I know that Kenny's right. They're going to want to win the game tonight. They win the tie tonight, of course they are. But don't go gung-ho. But similarly, don't get slack. Don't take your eye off the ball. Don't think, oh, it's an easy 10-yard pass. Concentrate fully. Don't give the other team a lift, because, like we said before, this team are all right. If you give them a lift, they've got quality that can hurt you.
The Saint-Gilloise players were back out. They've just gone through that little routine to get the blood pumping through the legs again, and they are back out onto the field. And here come the Rangers players as well. Massive 45 minutes ahead. They have got the opening goal. Who else but James Tavernier from the penalty spot. Sent the keeper the wrong way. 1-0 for Rangers, but still 2-1 for the Belgian side on aggregate. We're about to get the second half up and running, live in Sports on BBC Radio Scotland with Kenny Miller, Richard Foster and Liam McLeod.
Both sets of players ready to go. And it will be Union Saint-Gilloise who'll kick off the second half of the second leg. Trailing 1-0 in the night, protecting a 2-1 aggregate lead now. A much better aggregate scoreline than it looked like it was going to be at the start of the second half for Rangers. Saint-Gilloise will kick off. White shirts, black shorts, white socks going right to left. Rangers in the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops going left to right, shooting towards Copeland Road in the second half as Teddy Tuma knocks it out high out to that far side and out for a Rangers throw-in level with the edge of the D of their own box as Barisic pulls it back to Sands. No changes for either team at the start of the second half. Barisic picks up and his clearance finds touch only, and it's a throw into Saint-Gilloise level with the edge of the centre circle in the Rangers half. Goal towards Banzier, who moves it back the way to Sykes, who's up high into the air. Goldson lets it drop over his head, and it's now back with John McLaughlin, who is in goal for Rangers tonight. Tavernier, Goldson, Sands and Barisic at the back. Arfield and Lundstrom in the middle, Tillman and Kent wide, Lawrence supporting Cholak. That is the Rangers team. Morelos on the bench. Tillman runs into trouble in the near side in the shape of Lapoussin, who's on it now. Van der Heyden, who gave away the penalty, eventually won it back. He's going to get the throw-in on this near side as we tick into the second minute of the second half. Rangers' Champions League record in recent times leaves a lot to be desired. Just one win in their last 23 Champions League games, be it in group stage or qualifying. 1 in 23. It was a 1-0 win over Bursaspor here as Sands gives it away dreadfully to Lazar, who knocks it to Vanzier on the right of the Rangers box. Low ball forward, Lazar's onto it at the byline, trying to shield Lawrence, and eventually it trickles back to John McLaughlin. So no damage done again, but 3 or 4 times there's been sloppy passes by Rangers players in the midfield that have led to some last-ditch defending, shall we say.
Yeah, it's again what we've seen in the first half. It's Sands again. It's just a slack pass. You know, they've got a lot of bodies in and around the area. They just kind of broke forward. You win the ball back. Just keep it. Go back to your goalkeeper. Go back to McLaughlin. Keep the ball at the back. Don't try and hurry the pass or rush the pass when it's not on, because you're going to put your team in trouble.
Tavernier's ball forward is cleared. Will drop out for a Rangers throw, and the sun is dipped away now. Still blue skies above though. There's some late summer sunshine. 10-9 Glasgow time as that's moved out to Barisic in the left and infield to Sands. 47 on the clock, couple into the second half as Sands finds Goldson. And that penalty really has given Rangers a huge opportunity here. Certainly far from beyond them scoring another 2 unanswered goals in the second half to get the job done before extra time, but still need to get back on terms in the aggregate scoreline as Goldson rolls it back to Sands inside the centre circle. Union have everyone behind the ball right now, only John McLaughlin in the Rangers half. Goldson out to Tavernier, he moves it back towards Connor Goldson under pressure from Adingra. He's kind of scuffed it. John McLaughlin's going to get there. He keeps it in play just about, then rolls it towards Goldson, but it's gone out for a throw-in. It's a little nervy moment like that in the game against Kilmarnock at the weekend between Goldson and McLaughlin. Didn't come to anything then. Just little things like that can get the crowd a little bit edgy, it can get the players edgy, and it can start to spread throughout the team. And Kenny Miller's been a couple of little nervy moments at the start of the second half for Rangers players.
It's been 2 and 3 minutes, Liam, you know, and it's exactly what Richard's saying, that like Rangers don't need this.
There's another one, yeah. Goldson's giving it away. Lazar comes forward, is at the edge of the box. Lundstrom comes to meet him. Lazar turns and then turns again back onto the right. Now he's back onto the left. He shoots. It's off target though. And it will be a goal kick to Rangers, almost 49 in. Rangers leading 1-0 on the night, 2-1 down in aggregate. With some really cheap bits of play by Rangers players. Kenny was in the middle of talking about the 2. It's now up to 3.
Yeah, it is, but you know, there's a little bit more of an aggressive nature to Union's press in the second half, but like there, they can play through it pretty easily and get into the final third.
Barisic with the cross, Arfield goes after it. Van der Heyden's clearance isn't decisive, but Cholak's touch is poor. Union clear only as far as Tavernier. Overhits the pass for Tillman. It was behind for the goal kick. The Rangers fans won't want to get too frustrated at this early point of the second half.
You see that from Liam? Everyone will go, oh, it's a poor pass from Tavernier. But it's because Tillman wants to come to the ball all the time. See if he's actually stepping forward. He steps onto that pass.
Get into his stride.
Into his stride. But Tavernier's trying
him, Richard. He's trying to direct him.
He's trying to force him to do it.
With the goalkeeper Maurice, who kept goal for Luxembourg against Scotland in a pre-Euro 2020 friendly match just over a year ago. As Burgess knocks it forward, it's a poor pass. Arfield gets onto it. Now it's Lawrence, clever little dink towards Lundstrom. Tuma comes across, gets between the man and the ball and wins it back. Tuma goes down, free kick to Union midway inside their own half, slightly right to centre as the clock ticks on to 50 minutes here at Ibrox, where it's Rangers 1, Union Saint-Gilloise 0 on the night, but 2-1 to last season's Belgian runners-up on the aggregate scoreline. It's Lapoussin on this near side, knocks it forward to Adingra, and there's a misunderstanding. He was out of play for a Rangers throw-in. Malik Tillman will leave for Tavernier, whose second goal of the season could yet prove to be a priceless one. He dispatched the penalty. He's only missed a couple of penalties in his Rangers career. As Lundstrom picks up, moves up towards halfway, rolls it out to Tillman on the near side. Up against Lapoussin, he wins it back for his team, and he plays it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Maurice will hit it with the left foot towards the halfway line. Lundstrom comes to meet it, nods it forward. It comes off the head of Van der Heyden. Is he fouling Tillman? The Rangers fans think so. The referee disagrees. And it's a clearance which comes off Tavernier and out for a Union throw-in on this near side. We put 51, Rangers 1, Saint-Gilloise 0. There's still plenty time for Rangers. One more unanswered goal would take this tie to extra time. And it's with the man who gave away the penalty, Van der Heyden, to Tuma, who volleys it forward, then Adingra into the middle of the park, but it's met by Barisic with an up and under forward. Comes off Burgess, who beats Cholak to it. Cholak scored 2 goals here at this stage last season for Malmo. And that aggregate victory for the Swedes, who won both legs 2-1. It's moved out to Barisic. Infield to Sands, forward to Lundstrom. First time along the deck, out to Barisic. 52nd minute of the game. Down the line it goes to Kent, back there to Lawrence, back to Barisic. And now with Sands, he spreads to his central defensive partner Goldson, who elects to give it back to the America international. And it's Sands moving it out to the left for Barisic. Barisic across halfway. Short ball to Lawrence, back to Barisic, back to Sands. I'm going to be patient here, Rangers. There's James Sands. Can get the ball wide, get in the wide areas, get crosses into the box. That's where Saint-Gilloise looked to be vulnerable. As Tavernier plays it down the line, looking for Tillman. Slide challenge by Van der Heyden. He wants a throw and he's not getting one. Rangers have it instead level with the penalty spot. Taken by Tavernier to Tillman. He's down by the corner flag and he can only put it, having controlled it on the chest, poke it back out for a Union throw. Still down by the corner flag off to our right. 52.5 in. Rangers 1-0 up on the night, but 2-1 down in aggregate.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right, Liam, they're going to have to be patient. I know the fans get a bit anxious and they get a bit antsy, but you know, it's a nervous time for the fans. But when you're on the pitch, you're in control of the game. Just keep the ball, keep moving it side to side, because as we spoke about in the first half, they will tire, they will leave gaps, and if you're good enough, you can find that you can exploit those gaps.
Free kick Rangers on this near side. Tavernier was keen to take it quickly, he has done so. He's switched on to the chest of Barisic, left to the centre circle. Union half. Short low ball out to the touchline for Kent. Kent's low ball to Cholak, the left angle of the box, takes a touch, moves it back to Lawrence, gets it into his stride, away from his man, rolls it out wide right for Tavernier, promising for Rangers. Tavernier crosses in, the header comes down and it's beaten away on the 6-yard line by the defender. Now it's with Arfield, whose snapshot's blocked, and out for a Rangers throw-in, level with the Saint-Gilloise 18-yard line on this near side. 53.5 on the clock. Rangers 1, Union 0.
Yeah, better for Rangers, far better play, cutting through them, getting Cholak involved, laying runners off him, and it was an exquisite back heel for Tillman into Arfield that almost set up the chance.
Barisic with a cross, headed away by Burgess. And it comes bouncing off Vanzier over on the far side, he's very deep. Barisic picks up, rolls it out wide left for Kent on the touchline, level the edge of the D of the Union box again. Barisic is an overlap option if he wants it. Square ball infield to Lawrence instead. Skips away from one, couldn't get away from the second, it was Lazar, but it's a poor touch from him. Kent wins it back for Rangers. Claims he was fouled on the far side, the referee agrees. Free kick Rangers just before the midway point of the Saint-Gilloise half on the Rangers left. 54 play and the yellow card comes out there for Lazar as Monaco go 2-1 up in Eindhoven to lead 3-2 on aggregate. So it's the League An side who are now in the driving seat to face the winners of this one. And they were 1-0 down in both legs. They are 3-2 up now, Monaco in Eindhoven.
And I just think that was a dinger. It was booked there, Liam, because Lazar was already booked, wasn't he, in the first half? I think it was a dinger. He just pulled Ryan Kent back.
Rangers free kick. Yeah, we'll just get confirmations of all the cards because there was a flurry of them towards the end of the first half. We'll get to that in just a moment, but Rangers have an attacking free kick situation over on the far side, 10 minutes into the second half of the second leg. Tom Lawrence over it, right-footed free kick coming up. It's going to be bending in on top into the corridor of that Union box, and it comes. It's a very deep one, way too deep. Tillman can't get there, and it sails behind for a goal kick to the visitors, and it will remain 1-0 Rangers.
I'm not sure why Tavernier's not taking that free kick. I know Lawrence has obviously got quality, but you know, we've all seen for plenty of seasons how good Tavernier is in those situations. But just put it in an area and let your team go and attack it.
He's just trying to do too much with it, Richard. You know, just do the percentages. Get the ball in there, let Cholak, let Golson go and attack it.
Oh, Adingra's on the ball, wide on the right-hand side, shows too much of it to Barisic, who defends his situation well, and then he goes behind eventually for a goal kick. James Sands under pressure, but it is behind Rangers' goal kick. 1-0 to Rangers. As far as the yellow cards are concerned, Kenny was right, it was Adingra was booked, but Lazar wasn't carded in the first half. Sands and Cholak for Rangers, Sykes and the goalkeeper Morris for the visitors. Adingra is the third booking for Saint-Gilloise. As Rangers pick up in the left, it's Lawrence. It's come off the referee. Bounce fault.
No booking for the penalty. Whereas I'm sure last week did Golson not get booked for his handball?
He did actually, yeah, but I don't think there was one this week.
Van der Hayden's not been booked for it, no. Certainly not what I've got in front of me, the information
I've never seen
in front of me, no.
Yeah. Neither did I.
Obviously Cholak and Morris were booked for the altercation in the wake of the Tavernier penalty dispatch, as Lundstrom picks up and finds Arfield. Poor ball Arfield, but he was being fouled by Tuma, so the referee's giving Rangers a free kick. Golson takes it quickly to Lawrence, approaching 57 minutes. As it stands, Rangers are going out of the Champions League. It's down the line to Barisic, sliding in to put it out there on the far side is now Colt. Rangers take it quickly. It's Lawrence to Lundstrom. Lawrence shifting it back to Sands. Forward it comes to Lundstrom, back to James Sands, moves it to his left for Lawrence. Lawrence looks up at the box to clip ball, looking for Tavernier, goes in, across for Cholak, Arfield! Cholak! Goal! Giovanni van Bronckhorst punches the air in celebration. Antonio Cholak on the goal line, heads it home and heads Rangers level in this Champions League third qualifying round tie. Ibrox goes berserk. It is Rangers 2, Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 0, 2-2 in aggregate. Rangers back on terms.
Yeah, it's actually a really good ball from Lawrence at the back post. He's got a runner in James Tavernier, who actually mispicks his cross. I think it falls to Arfield, who has a shot. Goalkeeper makes a fantastic save, and Cholak does what a good number 9 does and just heads it in the net. But I think he checks over, I think.
Yeah, they were checking it as Richard was talking, but it didn't last long. And Rangers 2 each on aggregate, Kenny Miller. Different tie now.
It sure is. It's game on now. I mean, what was that now? We've got half an hour, almost 32 minutes to go to search. Like, no need, like Richard says, to go chasing. You've got the ascendancy. You've been the team that's been asking all the questions, and that was a really, really well worked goal. That was the pass we were looking for Tom Lawrence to play in the first half. You feed it in there. You allow your teammate to get on the end of it. And James Tavernier, again, no surprises that he's the one pushing, he's the one asking, he's the one making the run in the final third phase full-back position. And yes, he might have, I don't know if he was shooting or trying to cut it back, but either way it fell really, really invitingly for Scott Arfield, who probably should score, but he gets enough on it to ask the keeper to make a good save, and Cholak's right where he should be to tap it in. I actually headed it in with him there, to be honest.
Yeah, he was right in the goal line, wasn't he? Great moment for the number 9, the second Rangers goal, having got his first here against Kilmarnock on Saturday. Sports Sound live from Ibrox. Third qualifying round of the Champions League, 2-2 in aggregate. Rangers have wiped out the first leg advantage that Saint-Gilloise had. It's gone. Lawrence out to Barisic on the left, ticking towards the hour of the second leg. It's now with Cholak. Bends the ball out, Tillman gets the flick and finds Tavernier. Right-hand side of the box, looks up at the box, smashes it across. It's going to break to Lawrence, rolls it to Lundstrom, and the goalkeeper saves. Up to his right, he put it behind for the corner.
And this is what Rangers can do. This is what Rangers can do to you with this atmosphere and these ties. Get absolutely on top of you and just put you under all kinds of pressure. Like Richard says, that could have been another goal within a minute. He scored on the other one. He scored in the second.
Rangers corner, Barisic to take over on that far side between the Sandy Jardine Govan stand and the Copeland Road end off to our right. Barisic looks up at the busy penalty area. Here he comes, left-footed. Into the box it comes, Cholak rises, doesn't get a clean header on it though, and that allows Tuma to get it away, and the clearance is completed up this near side by Lapoussin. Down goes Adringa, the challenge from Lawrence, free kick sees the referee. Van Bronckhorst straight at the fourth official, claiming Tom Lawrence got more than enough of the ball to justify that being a legal challenge. But in the 61st minute, Rangers 2, Saint-Gilloise 0, 2-2 in aggregate. It's now with Van der Heyden, halfway inside his own half, rolls it to Sykes, goes back to his goalkeeper. Here's Burgess, spinning away from Cholak. He scores at Ibrox at this stage of the tournament, the second successive season, this time though to the delight of the home fans. There's Lapoussin with the back heel down the line, it's picked up here by Lazar, it comes off Goldson. Throw into Saint-Gilloise on this near side.
And it's brilliant energy for Rangers. You know, they've sensed that they can smell blood. They're getting right after Union and putting them under pressure. Touched on at the start of the game, the substitutes are going to be key because they're putting so much into this. Just bringing on some fresh set of legs, whether it be Wright, whether it be Sakala, whether it be Kamara, whether it be Matondo or even Morelos will come on. There is no doubt he will be on, and the script could be written for him.
Rangers have been everything tonight that they weren't last week.
100%. It's just tempo of the game, attitude, desire to work hard, quality in the forward areas. But I just wonder, with those substitutions, do you bring on a Ryan Jack as well as another attacker, just to give you a bit more control in the middle of that pitch?
That's the ball played by Tillman to Tavernier. It had to go there earlier though, and eventually it's cut out by Van der Heyden as Lapoussin comes forward. His pass though cut out in the halfway line by Tillman, who moves it infield to Lundstrom, into the centre circle for Lawrence. It's back with Lundstrom, who will then shift it with the right foot to Barisic on his left. Rangers looking for the goal that would put them ahead in the tie. Monaco, remember, 2-1 up in Eindhoven against PSV. They lead 3-2 in aggregate. The winners of that play the winners of this. It's John Lundstrom, little clip ball out to Barisic on that left hand side. Looks up at the box again, rolls it infield to Lawrence. 63rd minute of the second leg. Short to Lundstrom, back to Sands and out to the left for Kent. Ryan Kent taking it forward, short to Tom Lawrence. Lawrence out to the touchline for Barisic, level with the 18-yard line, infield to Kent. Kent moving it forward to Lawrence again, and back out to Barisic. Patient from Rangers, good positive passing play though. Kent moves it towards the centre circle for Goldson. Tavernier's out in this near side. Goldson in the end does neither pass or shoot, and it goes well past that left-hand post and behind for the goal kick as Rangers prepare to make their first change. And Scott Arfield, whose effort came off the goalkeeper, rebounded for Colak to nod home on the goal line, will be replaced by Rabbi Matondo, Wales international, made his debut in Leuven last week. A difficult evening when he assisted Alfredo Morelos for Rangers' second year in the Premiership at the weekend. And it's Matondo, the Welsh international, for Arfield. Talk us through that one, Kenny Miller.
Yeah, I think he'll just go on wide, and now you'll see Tillman just move in the centre of the pitch. Lundstrom will still be sitting, and Lawrence will have to do maybe a little bit more defensive work to allow Tillman to be a little bit more free ahead of them. But I'll still expect Lawrence to be getting up. The Rangers have got a game to go and win.
Here's Lapoussin away from Tavernier. Matondo chasing him down, midway inside the Rangers half. He and Tuma lose out though, move towards Lapoussin, and out it goes for a throw-in. Remember, Rangers have never come from 2-0 down after a first leg in European competition to go through to the next stage. They're 2-0 up though on the night. The floodlights on at both sides of the ground. On this main stand side, the towering stands around the stadium, as Tillman tries to win it in the halfway line, and back with Tavernier, who launches it forward. Burgess is underneath it. This is up and under, which will go out for a Rangers throw-in. Saint-Gilloise will do well to not just overcome this Rangers team, which has overrun them tonight, but to overcome the atmosphere, because everything right now, and there's still 25 minutes to go, is pointing to Rangers doing the job this evening. And we've still got to get that third goal and get over the line. But the traffic is constantly going to our right here. Rangers attacking that goal as it's moved out to Barisic on the far side, getting it back immediately. And now it's with Lundstrom. Lawrence and Kent on the far side. It's a loose one by John Lundstrom, not for the first time this evening. Long ball towards Adingra, well blocked by Sands. Sands played it short to Tavernier. Matondo on this near side, and it's given away by Rangers. The Tavernier's won it back off his opposite captain, Tuma. Forward he comes. He can't squeeze it out to Kent though. Cut out there by Nurkamp, but he's given it away, and now it's Lawrence swaggering his way to the edge of the area, booted away by Van der Heijden, and it bounces off the referee, and that'll be a Union ball at the edge of their own box. 66 minutes played. Rangers 2, Saint-Gilloise 0, and 2-2 on aggregate.
Again, it's just another poor pass, poor decision from Sands, puts his captain in a bit of trouble, and they're lucky because I think Tuma could have actually played the ball forward quicker, and he tries to take an extra touch and do a wee drag back, and obviously Tavernier takes the ball off him.
Free kick Union, right of the centre circle on the far side. It's a foul on Lazar. And a little lull in the game now after the drama of Antonio Colak scoring in 58 minutes to tie this tie right up.
Yeah, and it's what Rangers don't want. They want to keep the energy up. When you're talking about Union maybe making a few poor decisions as well, where they can do, but this is what happens when you're put under this amount of pressure. Every kind of little chance you get, you need to try and relieve the pressure a little bit, but it's constant. Rangers just hounding Union at the moment, and just to go back on what Richard was saying, it wouldn't surprise me if maybe a Ryan Jack or even a Glenn Kamara would come on, maybe for Tom Lawrence, because it's not really his game, is the kind of box-to-box type effort that's needed to play that position.
Brilliant from Kent, wins it back with a head and then gets onto it before the defender and finds Matondo, who's now driving at the Union box. Gets round Van der Heijden, across, coverings Lapoussin. Referee is going to give the free kick the other way though. The linesman was waving his flag frantically down on this near side. Saint-Gilloise free kick about level with the penalty spot of their own box as we move into the final quarter of this Champions League third qualifying round second leg. It's 2-2 in aggregate. Goals either side of half time from Tavernier from the penalty spot and Colak just before the hour mark, cancelling out those two Saint-Gilloise goals in Leuven last Tuesday evening. In the 68th minute, long from Anthony Maurice, who did have to make that terrific save in the first half as well. Lazar gets onto it. The referee's going to blow for a Rangers free kick here though. Barisic took a dull one in the air. There was a collision. The landing wasn't too clever. He's back on his feet now, Borna Barisic. Final 22 minutes. As it stands, it's extra time. Long way to go, though. Here on Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland, as Tavernier collects on the near side. Played back by Tavernier for Goldson. Moving into the centre circle, and it's short to James Sands. Remember, more European action to come on Thursday. Dundee United protecting a 1-0 lead when they go to the Netherlands to take on AZ Alkmaar. That's Thursday evening here on Sports Sound, live on BBC Scotland television as well. Matondo is away from Lepoussin. Good play by the Welshman, driving at the Union box. Rolls it out to the overlapping Tavernier. Low ball ends, booted away by Burgess. And out for a Rangers throw-in midway inside Union territory.
Just needs to, great skill, but he just needs to underweight that pass for Tavernier. He kind of fires it out to him, and it's too difficult a ball to get any kind of purchase on the cross.
Tillman trying to desperately win the corner. He's not able to do it. It will be a goal kick to the visitors, who must be feeling they're on the rack here. They must be so uncomfortable, Saint-Gilloise, given the optics of this tie now, and given the imagery that this stadium creates, particularly on a night like this.
Yeah, and it's a psychology as well. Now they've gave their two away.
Goalkeeper with a dreadful ball straight to Tillman, but he can't quite get onto it, and it's clear by Burgess. Kenny.
Yeah, so they've gave their 2 goal away now. They've been put under constant pressure from the first whistle. There's only, at this moment, there's only one team looking like they're going to be the team going through. That being said, again, they have to be really careful on the counter. The sloppiness, James Sands in particular at the back, he needs to just take care with these passes. But I still think there's a big impact off Rangers bench with Morelos, Camaras. I think Tillman and Lawrence in particular may be starting to tire and feeling the effects of the 70 minutes that they've put in, because it's been really, really hard work and it's been constantly attacking towards that Union goal. So I still think the bench could have a big part to play, particularly if it was to go to extra time, obviously.
Now Cope was down injured, he's back on his feet now. Free kick Union, but they've given it away in the midfield, and Rangers get it back. Sands out to Tavernier on the near side. Tuma brings down Tavernier. The two skippers colliding, and the free kick will go Rangers' way. It's about level with the edge of the centre circle, and it's in the Union half. And Garrett's, the Union manager, isn't happy with the award there. He's got what looks like a suit jacket, very decent chino trousers, and bright white trainers down there. Doesn't look like he's got socks on. Doesn't look like the best fashion statement I've ever seen.
I completely disagree.
I knew you would.
I think he looks super cool, to be honest.
Tavernier with the free kicks headed away, breaks back the way of Barisic. Out to Ryan Kent on the left, level with 18-yard line, chops back onto the right foot, then back onto the left, up against now Cope on the far side, fires the ball in. Is that another handball? The referee's having a look at it, decides no. It came bouncing off Ross Sykes inside his own penalty area. Will the VAR have a look at that one?
Well, I would imagine they will have a look at it. I mean, it seems to come out very, very quick.
It's off the midriff,
yeah. But, you know, that's what this crowd do. They're going to claim for everything. They're going to want everything. And they just make a lot of noise. And I've been here with Aberdeen. I've been here when Rangers are like this. Obviously, not quite the atmosphere, not a European night. But when the Ibrox crowd get up, it's very, very difficult to concentrate. Never mind play a game of football. So they need to try and encourage the crowd with their performance to keep the noise up.
Oh, John McLaughlin bailed out brilliantly by James Sands. Oh no, the referee's given a free kick to Union. That's the right-hand side of the box. James Sands can't believe it. Is it outside the penalty area? Was it just outside? The yellow card's out for Sands.
It's off, is he? No.
That's
it's a red card. It's a second yellow here for James Sands. He was booked in the first half. Now, is the referee listening to someone in the VAR truck?
You know what, right?
Sands was booked in the 38th minute.
He was booked for the short pass for Ryan Kent when he took down Lazar.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to say on this
is, talking to the assistant,
he's made a horrendous decision to throw the ball back to John McLaughlin. There's not another Rangers player close, and you've got 2 Union players pressing it. He wins the ball. There's no doubt he wins the ball, but does he follow through?
It's going Rangers' way. Whoa, that was a big moment, and James Sands is breathing a massive sigh of relief. But John McLaughlin got it back. He didn't want it. Vanzier came in. Sands is actually, yes, he shouldn't have gone back to McLaughlin, as Kenny was saying. But it's a terrific recovery tackle. Quite how the referee, who's got a much better view than us.
And I tell you what, he had to make it as well. It's a tackle that he has to make, because I think it's Vanzier's getting on the end of the ball.
Yeah, he's a good player. So James Sands, who was about to be sent off for a second bookable offence, gets away with it.
It would have been another really poor decision, like the penalty last week, had that been given.
John Lundstrom was waiting an eternity there. Lepoussans pinched it off him. Let's move back into his own half for Van der Heyden. 73.5 on the clock. 2-0 to Rangers. 2-2 in aggregate as PSV equalise in Eindhoven. That's 3-3 in aggregate. 2-2 on the night in the Netherlands. Barisic goes down on the far side. Long ball by Sands is going to come all the way through to Anthony Maurice. And Ibrox will take a collective deep breath.
I'll be honest,
74 played.
I think he needs to think about taking Sands off. He needs to think about it, because he's made a few errors. He'll be walking a tightrope now with the decisions that have yet went his way, and incorrectly so.
And here come Union. It slipped through left-hand side of the box. Adingra's in, and McLaughlin slides in and makes a tackle, and it breaks out to Tavernier. Adingra, the freedom of Ibrox, left-hand side of the box. McLaughlin reacted. 74 in. Saint-Gilloise enjoying their best period of the second half, but Kent wins it back for Rangers, and he is brought right down by Lazar, who is claiming he got enough of the ball. The yellow card has come out.
I don't think he never showed that to Lazar there.
He showed it to Lawrence, but he showed it to Lazar there.
It has been booked. Remember, Lazar wasn't booked in the first half.
So he showed it to Lawrence. He has been booked now to the tackle. I actually,
he's throwing yellows about like confetti out there.
To be fair, I thought it was a good tackle.
It was aggressive, you know. It was a lot of force and a lot of pace in the tackle as Ryan was away to pass the ball. But it's all kicking off here.
It's a good thing I'm retiring soon, Liam.
You'd miss the drama, Fozzie. You'd miss the drama.
I bet I wouldn't have been able to tackle.
But go back on that. James Sands, he's making a few poor decisions. He's got a clear pass to James Tavernier to then set James on an attack, and he just kicks it away, because I think it's been a culmination of a few errors. It's kind of now affecting his decisions that he's making. You've got Davis on the bench.
There's Goldson out to Tavernier. Final 15 here. Rangers leading 2-0. Adingra has just chopped James Tavernier down. He is on a yellow. But there's no...
If there was a clearer booker, I'm not sure I've seen one than that.
Yeah,
just kicks him.
Yeah, I was surprised if this game finishes with the full complement of players on the pitch.
Change coming up here for Union. Going to take off the right wing back, Bart Nalcope, who's going to be replaced by Guillaume Francois, former Belgian under-21 international, who plays the same position. He actually played in the Belgian under-21 with Mounier, Benteke, De Bruyne. Been in and out of the starting 11 last season as he replaces Nalcope, who did take a bang earlier on, so he's maybe just suffering a little bit from that. 76.5 played. Rangers 2, Saint-Gilloise 0, 2-2 in aggregate. 3-3 PSV Monaco as the cross from Tavernier comes in, but it's held on to by Maurice, the goalkeeper. Rangers have just lost that swagger they had just in the last 10 minutes or so.
I think they need to look to the bench. I think they just need a bit of freshness. You know, they've given so much of this game. It's been intense. It's been, you know, they've done well, but that comes at a cost, and I think maybe they might need to look to the bench.
Tillman through for Matondo, who did come off the bench. Ball was won by Van der Heyden. No, it wasn't, says the referee. Free kick's gone Rangers' way. It's about between 25 and 30 yards from goal here, slightly right of centre. Van der Heyden protesting.
Kenny, every time that it looks to me as if it's a good tackle, the referee blows his whistle.
Oh, it's like every time someone does a contact, there's been a free kick given. Like, not every tackle's a free kick. You know, that looked like a decent kind of last-ditch tackle to stop Matondo going right in the back line. Probably a little bit too far out for James to shoot here.
Rangers are going to bring Ben Davis on, presumably for James Sands, probably after this free kick's away. Tavernier and Lawrence are there. Lawrence just moves to the left of the ball. Tavernier with the right foot will clip it into the penalty area, and it comes headed away by Burgess, the tallest player on the pitch for Union. Barisic out to Kent, level with the 18-yard line. In fact, Alfredo Morelos is going to come on as well. Long cross comes in, goal! It's Tillman! He's leapt above the goalkeeper, and Malik Tillman scores his first Rangers goal on the most dramatic of nights here in Glasgow. The long looping ball deceived Anthony Maurice, and Rangers have come back from the dead in this Champions League qualifying tie. 2-0 down coming into the second leg. They are 3-0 up thanks to Malik Tillman, who nods it past Maurice. On the night, it is Rangers 3, Union Saint-Gilloise 0, and 3-2. Rangers lead on aggregate. The turnaround is complete.
That is a sensational leap. He's head and shoulders. He's head and shoulders above the goalkeeper at the back post. Absolutely no hint of a free kick. Clear header right above the goalkeeper. Heads into the empty net. Incredible goal.
It's just a ball slung into the box. It's overhit. But I tell you what athleticism for him to get up there. Like Kenny said, he's about 3 feet above the goalkeeper, who's got his arms in the air. Incredible leap. What a goal. And you know what? Is he going to score a bigger goal in the Rangers jersey?
The Rangers making the changes regardless of the fact that the goal went in, as Ben Davis and Alfredo Morelos waited on the touchline. Solak gets a pat in the back from his manager. He got the goal that levelled the tie. Tillman gets the goal that puts Rangers' noses in front. And there's just over 10 minutes to play. They've never come from 2 down after a first leg to go through in a European tie. They're 10 minutes away from a little bit of history and a Champions League playoff against PSV Eindhoven or Monaco. Now Saint-Gilloise have got to go for it, as that's rolled back to Goldson, who clears, gone straight to Burgess though. Out to this left-hand side for Adingra, faced by Tavernier, who wins it back. Matondo waited for too long, but the referee's going to bring it back for a foul by Tuma on Tavernier. The clock hits 80 minutes. Rangers 3, Saint-Gilloise 0 on the night, and 3-2 to Rangers on the aggregate scoreline. The job's just about done.
Well, that's what Ibrox can do. That's what it can do to teams. Union have been a shadow of the team they were last week. But now we knew that Rangers were going to be on top, but they've offered very, very little going forward. All Rangers' problems have really came from themselves. The slackness, the loose passing. They've got 10 minutes now to see this game out. What a result this will be.
The Eindhoven-Monaco tie's gone to extra time. They were 15 minutes earlier kicking off. Veerman, Maripan, Ben Yedder and Gutierrez with the goals as Rangers come forward. It's with Tillman, the man who's got Rangers going through as it stands. Down he goes. Was he fouled? No, it's a handball. When he fell on it, Burgess takes the free kick quickly. The Saint-Gilloise look to their bench, and their number 9 is going to be coming on in just a moment as they try and throw caution to the wind. It is the Poussin back infield to Adringa. Now it's with Van der Heyden, who gave away the penalty right at the end of the first half. They got Rangers on their way. But here's Le Poussin on the near side for Saint-Gilloise. Misunderstanding with Van Zier. And Ben Davis moves it back to his goalkeeper, who clears it up towards halfway. Tillman with the dummy. Morelos looking to get back onto the Tillman return. Alfredo Morelos is on it on the right-hand side. Doesn't have the pace to outstrip the defence though, and has to pass it back into the midfield for Lundstrom. Out to the left for Borna Barisic. Short to Kent. 82 minutes played. 3-0 to Rangers. It's with John Lundstrom, the Rangers number 4, and plays it short to Lawrence. Now Lundstrom again to Tavernier, back into the centre circle for Goldson. Steps forward and finds Tavernier. Out to this near side for Tillman, pops it back to Tavernier cleverly, looks up at the box, early ball in, is half away by Sykes. Kent trying to get onto it in the far side, it will break instead to Lazar though. Clips it down that right hand side. There's a long ball forward there which is cut out. Francois' pass. Barisic scoops it into the midfield for Malik Tillman. 82 and a half on the clock. Rangers 3, Saint-Gilloise 0. Lawrence bodies it. Free kick Rangers. level with the edge of the centre circle as we approach 83 minutes. And Saint-Gilloise, I'm going to bring on their number 9. It looks like Sykes is going to come off, yet defender off, and they'll make the change with their number 9, Dennis Eckert, coming on. And the German-born player signed from Ingolstadt this summer, but they were relegated to the 3rd tier of German football last season. So again, as well as they did last season, they are not full of experienced European pros. As Ben Davies picks up on the halfway line, exchanges passes with Barisic. It's now with Davies. Suddenly the Rangers supporters want a very undramatic final. 10 minutes is probably left if you include the stoppage time. They want this to be as boring and dull as it can possibly be, Kenny Miller.
No, they do, but let me tell you, there's still a goal in this for Rangers to really put this to bed. Union are coming hard forward. There's no point in sitting back. You've got good players still on this pitch that can really threaten them. There's still so many opportunities as they're pressing to go at that back line and get the 4th and really kill this game off. There's no need to chase it, but I think the opportunities will naturally appear with the way Union are trying to now go at it to get this goal, to get the equaliser.
The 68th season of European Cup / Champions League. In 3 decades since the tournament was rebranded. And Rangers desperate to be a part of it after more than a decade away. It's out for a Union throw-in. And then pinched back by Tillman. He's popped it to Morelos on the edge of the box. He shoots some distance and just goes wide of the left-hand post. The keeper gets in touch. Corner Rangers. Morelos doesn't score many from outside the box. He had a right good go at it there from the left angle of the penalty area as we approach the final 5.
It's funny how the dynamic changes, isn't it? We've now got Union players sprinting after the ball, throwing it out to Rangers, get on with it. We've seen Connor Goldson taking his time over a free kick. The Rangers fans were quiet. Obviously none of them care, and take as much time as you need, Connor. But
and Tillman's came alive as well, by the way, since his goal, and even just before it, he's come alive, he's pressing, he seems to have got a second wind towards this last 5 minutes.
Corner then to Rangers, over on that left-hand side as they attack the goal to our right. In it comes, it's a high scoop delivery. Goldson too high for him. Union head clear, only as far as Tavernier. He pops it out to this near side for Lundstrom, challenged by Tuma, who claims to come off Lundstrom last. Throw-in goes Rangers' way, and it looks as though Rangers are going to make another change. Glenn Kamara is going to come on as Tavernier takes the throw-in to Matondo. He can't control it though. Tuma wins it back, and Matondo with a foul. Free kick goes Saint-Gilloise's way. As Morelos gets himself involved with Tuma. The free kick's taken quickly. It's Lepusan. Morelos with the challenge. The referee's happy with it. James Tavernier knocks it out to Matondo on this right-hand side. Rangers attacking the Union box again. To Morelos, wins the throw-in. That'll do for the Rangers supporters. It's going to be a change for Union as well. They are running out of time, big time, as the clock ticks on to 86, with Rangers leading 3-0 in the night and 3-2 on aggregate. They were in an almighty hole coming into this second leg, as Tom Lawrence's number goes up and Glenn Kamara will replace him. A little bit of pragmatism from Giovanni van Bronckhorst as we go into the closing stages.
Yeah, it's just to give Rangers a bit more control in midfield. They don't need to chase the game, as Kenny said. They're through. The tie is won at this point. So don't take off one of your attacking players. Put on Kamara, who's defensively very sound. Because Union are obviously making another change here, and they're going to need to go for it.
On comes Kamara for Lawrence. Change as well here for Union Saint-Gilloise, and Senny Leenan is replaced by the Swiss Cameron Puertas. As Morelos picks up, moves it to the edge of the box, comes off Kamara, might break Matondo's way. He's inside the area, the flag's up against Ravi Matondo. Free kick to Saint-Gilloise as we approach 87 minutes at Ibrox. Rangers 3, Union Saint-Gilloise 0, 3-2 on aggregate in Rangers' favour. PSV Monaco tied at 3-3 on aggregate, playing extra time in the Philips Stadion. The first leg will be next week. Van der Heyden will take a throw-in eventually on this near side. That goes out of play for a Union throw-in again down on this near side. And Van der Heyden will take the throw-in midway inside the Rangers half. Malik Tillman is named the Ibrox man of the match as Lepusan picks up on the near side. It was out of play. It's going to be a throw-in to Union, despite the fact it looked like it came off Lepusan last. Well into the 8th minute here. Rangers 3-0 up, though. A goal for Union would force extra time. But a misunderstanding on this near side as it bounces back off Puertas, who's just on and out for a Rangers throw-in. That's 88 played. Rangers 3, Saint-Gilloise 0 on the night, and that is enough to take Rangers through to the Champions League playoffs. Very close now, Kenny.
Yes, 2 minutes plus stoppage, maybe 3 or 4 minutes of that, so maybe 5 or 6 minutes in total. Like I say, there's not been a great attacking intent at all for Union. They're going to have to throw everything at Rangers in this 5 minutes to try and get a goal.
Yeah, and it's Puertas coming forward, rolls it back to Teddy Tuma. They got there first last week. A dreadful ball through for Morelos now. Goalkeeper's come a long way. Morelos takes him on, but shows too much of it to the keeper. He'd Kent and Tillman to his right. Does a fully fit Morelos go past the keeper there? He's not exactly the most rapid of the Rangers squad, but the goalkeeper was a long way from goal.
And that's what will happen, because again, without trying to jinx it, I don't think they've not got a great amount of quality to try and break Rangers down. And when they turn it over there will be these chances, even these last few minutes. I mean, that should be game done. Round the goalkeeper, run, even roll it to your teammate to an open goal. But that's a rusty Alfredo, fully fit, 5-6 games under his belt. Alfredo Morelos probably goes through and scores himself there.
It was quite a surprise actually to see him back at the weekend, and know that Giovanni Van Bronckhorst spoke at the tail end of last week about wanting him back for this game. They haven't needed him in truth, but he could so easily have killed it. We're in the final minute of the 90 now. Rangers 3-0 up, 3-2 up in aggregate. As Goldson looked like he was caught, he's popped it out for a throw-in to Union over on that far side.
He took a chance there. I tell you what, if that ball doesn't get out of the pitch, they're 3-on-1.
Yeah, it's a little bit panicky now for Rangers. There's no need that. You've got Glenn Kamara on now, you're alongside Lundstrom. Get your foot on the ball, get Tillman back into an area where they can connect, and just get a little bit of control. Make them chase, and if they chase, openings will appear for Morelos, for Kent, for Matondo to go and attack with their pace.
And about to find out the injury time. All eyes on the fourth official. That's us played the 90 minutes now. The fourth official is the board in his hand. 5 minutes. 5 minutes have been added at Ibrox. Rangers goal lead on aggregate. There's 5 minutes left to withstand, as it's picked up on the right hand side by Lepusan out wide. Right, the ball comes into the penalty area. It's bobbling around. It breaks Jandingra, and it's poked towards goal, which McLaughlin holds on to. Union Saint-Gilloise looked like they were in for a leveller there, and to take this tie to extra time. The eventual effort was weak, comes off the defender and breaks back kindly for John McLaughlin, and it stays Rangers 3, Saint-Gilloise 0, and 3-2 on aggregate.
I think they're lucky that he doesn't take a shot on there. When the striker sets it back, I thought he was going to shoot. He doesn't. He plays the extra pass, and
here goes Kamara. Kent to his left as they attack the box. Kent's inside the area now. He can finish it left foot across the face. Morelos can't get there, and then goes behind for a goal kick to Saint-Gilloise. Rangers have negotiated the first of 5 minutes at the end in injury time here at Ibrox on Sportsound, where it stays Rangers 3, Union Saint-Gilloise 0.
This is exciting to the very, very end. From first whistle to last, this is going to have been an incredible encounter.
Yeah, it's the visitors on the ball here with Lazar on that right-hand side, slipping it to Van Zier. Van Zier will leave it. There's an opportunity at the edge of the penalty area. The shot is deflected, and McLaughlin will hold on. It was Dennis Eckert's effort. McLaughlin, the Rangers keeper, flops down on top of the ball on the ground, wasting a few seconds away. Rangers 3-2 up on the aggregate scoreline.
And Dennis Eckert there trying to get a shot off of the edge of the box on his left foot when he should have shot the 30 seconds before on that cutback. It was a wonderful opportunity for him, trying to make up for that.
Morelos goes down. Was he fouled by Burgess? The Greek referee says no. Burgess will clear it, long right foot. It's a good pass as well, out towards Van Zier on the far side, the most dangerous of the strikers. He's on the ball, right hand side. Rangers have men back. Union have 4 in the middle. The low ball comes in, and McLaughlin gathers at his near post. We've played 2 of the 5 minutes of injury time at the end. Rangers still 3-2 up on aggregate, and heading as it stands through to the Champions League playoffs.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Like, you say, why did Rangers not produce this last week? Why for the last 5 minutes Union have been excellent going forward? Why have they not produced this the whole night?
Hence giving it away. No free kick is forthcoming for the Rangers winger, and Union come forward again. It's a chip ball forward, headed away. Eckert was the target, cleared by Lundstrom. Down goes Kamara. No free kick. Yes, it has been given this time. Lapoussin complains, and he's booked for his troubles. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes is all that stands between Rangers and the playoffs.
Lazar?
Yeah, Lazar's going to be sent off. Second yellow. 2 yellows for the Union number 8. And Saint-Gilloise will finish the game with 10 men.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't go off that side of the pitch, that's for sure.
And he's gone off on the Govan stand side. He'll have to walk past all the Rangers supporters on his way off the pitch. I'm not sure if you're sent off you can do that. You're being subbed, you do. I would have thought you would have to go straight up the tunnel.
It's a long walk round.
Surely it's in his best interest. The referee says no, you're going up the tunnel this way.
To be fair, I feel that the referee kind of he's lost control a little bit. He brandished too much. I mean, he gave him a second yellow card there for bouncing the ball. Seems a bit ridiculous to me, but
Rangers just over a minute away from the playoffs. John McLaughlin with the long ball. Towering header by Burgess. Van Zier knocks it off. Barisic does he know it's come off him last. Rangers throw in, level with the edge of the centre circle over on that left hand side. We're in the final minute of the 5 that were added on by the Greek referee. Closing stages. Rangers heading through 3-2 in aggregate, they lead. They were 2-0 down coming into the second leg as Teddy Chuma switches the play out to Adingra. There's still time for Union Saint-Gilloise. Adingra chips it forward, headed away by Goldson, and out for a throw-in. And the Union manager scampers down this near side to retrieve the ball. Plays it short to Van der Heyden, who bowls it forward there to Puertas. Blocked by Goldson. Union throw-in. There's only about 15 seconds left of the allotted 5 minutes of stoppage time. Here's Lapoussin, left-hand side of the box. Plays it across the face of goal. No takers. Van Zier collects over on the right. He swings the ball into the box. There's a header from Van der Heyden, which was just high over the bar. And it will stay 3-2 in aggregate. 3-0 in the night to Rangers. I make that time up. Rangers are so close. There might just be time for the goal kick. The referee's had a look at his watch, but it looks as though Rangers have completed the dramatic turnaround, wiping out the first leg advantage for Saint-Gilloise. And it's one of those famous Ibrox nights, and a bit of history as well, because previously they'd never lost a first leg 2-0 and gone through. And here they are, surely the final whistle as soon as John McLaughlin boots this forward. Here he goes now, the referee, all eyes on him, and that's it! What a comeback by Rangers! The celebrations in the stands, the celebrations on the pitch. They had a big question to answer, but they've come up with a big answer here at Ibrox tonight. Dramatic nights here on their way to the Europa League final last season. It's the Champions League that they want to be in this term, and they've taken a huge step towards doing that. A goal just before half-time from James Tavernier's penalty after the Van der Heyden handball got them started, got the comeback on the way. And then in a rousing second half, Antonio Cholak's header on the rebound from Arfield's effort squared the tie. And then Malik Tillman, who's on loan from Bayern Munich, rose so high, so tall to beat Anthony Maurice and head it over the keeper into the net to win the game with just over 10 minutes of the second leg still to play. It was a tempestuous night at times. Tempers were frayed, the stakes were high, and it will be Rangers against PSV Eindhoven or Monaco for a place in the Champions League group stage when they meet over 2 legs over the next fortnight. That tie's in extra time right now. Rangers are through. It finishes here at Ibrox on a vibrant night south of the River Clyde. Rangers 3, Union Saint-Gilloise 0, and 3-2 Rangers go through on aggregate.
Rangers in the Champions League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.